The catastrophe is coming. I took my whole family to cultivate immortality. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 226. Get what you want. The biggest purpose of Qin Feng coming to the Japanese country is to get the grass pheasant sword that he learned from the system. It's just that Qin Feng is not a hairy boy. He knows the complexity of human nature. If at this time, he really thinks that he has given a huge help to the Japanese country and makes a direct request, then the biggest possibility is that he cannot get the grass pheasant sword at all. Smiling, Qin Feng still looked very calm. No, everything has been discussed at the beginning, and I don't need anything. Now, I should leave. The more Qin Feng acted like he didn't care about anything, the more nervous Watanabe became. He was extremely hopeful that he could have a relationship with Qin Feng. Otherwise, I really have to wait until another alien beast invades, and then I will maintain the relationship, but it will be too late to say anything. Qin Sang, you helped us eliminate alien beasts. This is a great kindness. If you need anything, you can speak up. Qin Feng still shook his head. There's really no requirement. Watanabe racked his brains for a while, and his eyes lit up. In Zion-Tae City, Qin Feng used a long sword when dealing with alien beasts. It stands to reason that as Qin Feng, he must be interested in weapons. Watanabe felt that what he thought was quite right, and quickly said, Qin Sang, you are an immortal cultivator. Unlike us, ordinary things really can't get into your eyes, but since ancient times, the weapons of our Japanese country have been very good existences. You are an expert. If you are interested, you can take a look and visit. Of course, if there is a need, just ask it directly. I guarantee that it will make people satisfied. Qin Feng shot at that time. He could not have used weapons, but using the long iron sword was to pave the way for now. It seems that he unintentionally showed some kind of preference, which was discovered by Watanabe well, and he also thought that he was very smart. Isn't that necessary? I think I should leave. What's the matter? You came here and helped us so much. At least we have to have a meal. Let us express our gratitude. Qin Feng declined again, but Watanabe definitely tried his best to keep him, so he simply agreed. Sanada Miyu is already the person Qin Feng is most familiar with in the Japanese country, so naturally, he was also invited. The specifications of the reception, don't even think about it, it is already the highest reception so far. During the banquet, Watanabe showed people a variety of weapons, and especially introduced several precious Japanese swords. Qin Feng appropriately showed a little interest, and keenly found that the Japanese country did not pay much attention to the grass pheasant sword, although it was also presented, but the attention was average. Simply choosing a Japanese sword, Qin Feng finally said casually, I use a sword myself, and seeing that sword is not bad. Qin Feng is not referring to the grass pheasant sword, but the one next to it. Watanabe instinctively thought that what Qin Feng could like must have extraordinary value, and he definitely did not want to offend Qin Feng. It's just that it always hurts to let people hand over the baby. With his expression unchanged, Watanabe opened his mouth and said, it's a pity to say that the sword is not bad, but it is already famous. A swordsman in our country has been passed down from generation to generation. It was because Qin Sang came that he showed it, although I didn't say it clearly. The meaning is very obvious. I said it like this. You, Mr. Qin Feng, are an immortal cultivator. Qin Feng nodded. It turns out to be like this. If a gentleman doesn't win people's love, then forget it. The sword next to him is okay. It shouldn't be a big problem to keep it as a souvenir, right? It was impossible for Du Bianjing to refuse Qin Feng twice, so he immediately nodded and said, of course there is no problem. Someone nearby has already brought the grass pheasant sword respectfully. Qin Feng glanced at it casually, then put it away, and didn't show anything. At this time, the system that had not moved for a long time, a voice came from my mind. Ding. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the grass pheasant sword, which can be reproduced and forged to make up for the strengthening of the dragon yin sword. With a good confirmation from the system, it's definitely fine. Qin Feng's visit this time was not in vain, but he finally got what he wanted. Du Bianjing is still very proud. He feels that he has flattered Qin Feng, but he has not yet sent out what Qin Feng likes. That sword, if people study it carefully, there must be unexpected gains. Otherwise, Qin Feng will not be so impressed. In fact, in terms of routines, Qin Feng's skills are still superior. The sword he mentioned first has no magic, let alone any immortal gold point. The banquet was very harmonious as a whole. In the later period, many bigwigs from Japan came to express their thanks to Qin Feng. Originally, Qin Feng really planned to leave on the same day. However, after the banquet was over, it was a little late. Many bigwigs in the Japanese country kept him, so he planned to stay for one night before leaving. Senator Miayu stayed by Qin Feng's side the whole time. Senator Zion was very happy when he heard the news. It can be considered a blessing in disguise. Miayu is definitely blessed by Amaterasu to have this opportunity. Hearing his father's words, Sanada Gang village felt very sour in the end. He was also envious and jealous, but unfortunately, no matter how he thought about it, he didn't have that chance, and regretted it in his heart. If he had chosen to trust Qin Feng completely, not run away, and stayed to have a good relationship with Qin Feng, then this time he would be in the limelight. Yes, it's not just Sanada Miayu. Thinking about it now, if Sanada Miayu shows his face in front of so many bigwigs, the Sunyuan group will also benefit from it. The possibility that his father Sanada Zion will hand over the family group to Sanada Miayu is even greater. When the father and son had different thoughts, Sanada Miayu came back. Senator Yu rarely greeted him personally, with a very gentle attitude. Miayu, you're back. Yes, father. How about Ginseng? He's gone to rest. Sanada Miayu couldn't follow Qin Feng when she was resting. Even if she wanted to, Qin Feng wouldn't. Ginseng has done so many things today, and he really deserves a good rest. Sanada Miayu asked, by the way, my second brother, and the eldest brother, is there any news yet? Sanada Yu's face became a little complicated, and after pondering, he said, don't mention your eldest brother, that be ****D. As for your second brother, hey, he didn't listen to Ginseng's advice, and had to flee for his life. It's already been confirmed that something happened. Sanada Miayu understood in her heart that the second brother Sanada Jiro must have died under the impact of alien beasts. The look on the pretty face is inevitably a little sad. Just as she was about to speak, she found that the third brother, Sanada Ganken's face changed greatly, pointing behind her like a ghost. You, why are you here? A sinister voice sounded. Haha, why can't I be here? Sanada Miayu unconsciously got goosebumps all over her body, and it felt like a beast was standing behind her. Chapter 227 becomes very different. Sanada Miayu turned around suddenly, a look of surprise on her face. Big brother? Unexpectedly, it was Sanada Ichiro who was standing there. It's just that Sanada Ichiro's face at this time looked very strange, more blue-purple than normal people, and there was another layer of halo in his eyes. He smiled, looking extraordinarily charming. Haha, you are such a good boy. By now, maybe you are the only one who still calls me eldest brother. In order to reward you, how about I give you a gift, Sanada? Miayu hasn't spoken yet. Sanada Yu has already snorted coldly. You be ************************************************************* and come back with a face. Squinting his eyes, Sanada Ichiro shook his neck and made a clicking sound. You're immortal. You'd better be polite when you talk to me now, Sanada. Ganken was instantly refreshed and felt that this time he could perform well and strive to gain impression points in front of his father. Currently shouting Sanada Gang village was loudly, Ichiro Sanada, are you crazy? How can you talk to your father? You scum, you still have the face, seriously. Shut up, I'll tell you to shut up now. Not affected at all, but it became louder. What kind of thing are you? Why should I listen to what you say? You should get out of here immediately, otherwise, I will clean up the door on behalf of my father. You shameless **********D. You should cut your belly to apologize, but unfortunately, you are a jerk. You are very afraid of death, and you don't dare to commit suicide at all. Sanada Ichiro's face was gloomy enough to drip water. Listen to your words. You are not afraid of death. then I will fulfill you. Since I told you to shut up, if you don't listen, just let you shut up forever. Joke, you still have to do something to me. Although I feel that Sanada Ichiro's current state is somewhat abnormal, it's just that at home, Sanada Gang Village is instinctively confident and does not take Sanada Ichiro's words to heart at all. As a result, before the words were finished, Sanada Ichiro's body rushed forward strangely. It seems that Sanada Ichiro's legs are very stiff, as if there is no force at all, but the overall speed is not slow. Like a ghost, it will come to the front in the blink of an eye. Sanada Ganken's hair was standing up all over his body, and he was about to continue talking, but it was too late. Sanada Ichiro stretched out his right hand, grabbed Sanada Gang Village's neck directly, and lifted it into the air. Not only Sanada Miyu, but even Sanada Yu's complexion suddenly changed, and for a moment, they all wondered, is the Sanada Ichiro in front of me the same Sanada Ichiro who used to eat, drink and play, and was hollowed out by the color of wine? Even if the body of Sanxiang Gang Village is not heavy, it still weighs more than 100 kilograms. But now, like a little chicken, it is being lifted up. The power that Sanada Ichiro showed was extremely terrifying. If you insist on courting death, you won't listen. If you shut up, now, you can finally be quiet. The moment the voice fell, Ichiro Sanada's arm suddenly exerted strength. Crack. The sound of broken bones came clearly. Sanada Gang Village's legs and feet were still struggling just now, but at this time, there was no sound. As Sanada Ichiro let go, his body was soft to the ground. Sanada Miyu screamed almost instinctively, "Big brother, what are you doing?" Sanada Yu's face jumped involuntarily and yelled loudly, "Beast, you really are not as good as pigs and dogs. If you do anything to your own brothers, you will die." Sanada Ichiro pouted, completely ignoring Sanada Yu's curse. "You don't need to get excited. The root cause of everything now is because of you. If you don't live so long and the Sunyuan group is handed over to me, then no one will die. You dream. Sunyuan group will never be handed over to you." Ha ha ha. Sanada Ichiro laughed wildly. "That's up to you, and I can assure you that you will die before me, before anything happens to me. Now, your other two sons are dead. If you are still obsessed, then you can accompany them on the road. At that time, the Sunyuan group is still mine, and no one can take it away." Sanada Miyu felt that the big brother in front of him was so unfamiliar, and out of a good instinct, he blocked his father Sanada Yu. "Ah, you crazy? Listen to my advice. Don't go further and further on the wrong road, and look back. Go back." Sanada Ichiro shrugged, as if he heard a big joke, and began to laugh wildly there. "Haha, it's so interesting. Did it make me turn back? Haha." After a while, Ichiro Sanada burst into tears. "How innocent you are. I have no turning back. For the sake of you calling me big brother, I will give you a chance to live. Now, contact Qin Feng and let him come over." Sanada Miyu was stunned. At this moment, she was sure that Sanada Ichiro must be crazy. At this time, how dare you let Qin Feng come? With Qin Feng's strength, Sanada Ichiro is not afraid of dying here. "What? Qin Feng? I can't contact him, just..." As Sanada Miyu finished speaking, Sanada Ichiro slapped him heavily. "Do you still want to fool me? Do you really think that I don't know how to call Wukin? That's Qin Feng. I asked you to call him and tell him that you were kidnapped. My dear sister, why don't you understand? I'm helping you. Don't you have a crush on that kid just to see how he reacts when he hears your accident?" Sanada Miyu was even more hesitant. Sanada Ichiro must have known about Qin Feng's shot to kill the alien beast. Generally speaking, it must be too late to hide from Qin Feng. Sanada Ichiro dared to take the initiative to ask Sanada Miyu to call Qin Feng, as if he had full confidence and could kill Qin Feng. "Now, call immediately." Sanada Miyu shook her head again. "Since you know Qin Feng's identity, you should understand that in my identity, I can't contact him at all." Sanada Ichiro shrugged, seemingly not in a hurry, but said with a smile, "That's a pity. You don't have any value in using me. Why don't you go on the road with this immortal? Die. It's just right that you are all dead. Then, no one will compete with me for the Sunyuan group. Now, I will send you on your way." Sanada Miyu's face suddenly changed. She never thought that Sanada Ichiro was so crazy that he was going to kill even his father. Sanada Yu's face paled a bit. Everyone is afraid when facing death. What's more different is that he has to die at the hands of his own son, which is too unacceptable. Seeing that Ichiro Sanada was about to start, Miyu Sanada spoke up. Wait, I can contact Qin Feng. Chapter 228 Waves again. Qin Feng is resting in the 5-star hotel arranged by Du Bianjing. With his current strength, he hardly sleeps and has no influence. I was closing my eyes and resting. I never thought about it. It was almost midnight when the phone rang. Looking at it, it was Sanada Miyu who called. Qin Feng instinctively frowned. After a day of contact, although I can't say how familiar I am, I feel that Sanada Miyu, this little girl, understands the sense of proportion point. If it wasn't for something important, I definitely wouldn't call at this time point. After picking it up, Qin Feng asked, "What's wrong, sect? Master Qin, I'm very sorry to disturb you so late. My elder brother is crazy, and it has become very different. He suddenly returned home and killed my third brother. Now, he has to do something to me and my father." Qin Feng was stunned for a moment. He didn't expect that Sanada Ichiro would still survive under the impact of alien beasts. What I can't figure out the most is that he is forcing me to contact you. The way he looks now is very scary, like a ghost, and he has become very powerful. I mean, you understand? You can choose not to come to my house. Sanada Miyu has been communicating with Qin Feng in Chinese. At this moment, there was a scolding, followed by a loud slap in the face. Judging by Qin Feng's superb hearing, the person who spoke just now was indeed Ichiro Sanada. He was yelling and reminding Sanada Miyu to communicate in Japanese. There is no way. At this time, you should know how important it is to master a foreign language, but if Sanada Ichiro understands Chinese dialect, Sanada Miyu would not dare to communicate with Qin Feng so unscrupulously. However, Sanada Ichiro is not a fool. He has already faintly noticed that something is wrong, so he will do something to Sanada Miyu. After pondering for a while, Qin Feng said, "Send the address to my phone. I'll be there in a minute." Sanada Miyu was stunned. She didn't expect Qin Feng to agree so readily. In fact, for Qin Feng, this is not a big deal, and he is also a little curious. What happened to Ichiro Sanada? How dare he take the initiative to let him go? He is a daring artist himself. Now, just go and see what medicine is sold in the good after all. Sect Master Qin, you don't have to come here. I always feel something is wrong. Don't worry, as long as I'm here, there's nothing to worry about. Send me the address. Don't argue with him before I arrive, and ensure your own safety. Okay, thank you. Sanada Miyu's voice was a little choked, obviously very moved. Qin Feng didn't clean up much, and went straight out of the place where he lived. With his movement, as long as he wanted to avoid it deliberately, no one would be able to find him leaving. According to the address provided by Sanada Miyu, Qin Feng arrived quickly. Don't forget, Qin Feng could just fly in the wind under the night, and the speed of the journey is definitely not ordinary. When he arrived at the Sanada family's manor, Qin Feng did not enter directly, but observed it outside. The reason is very simple. Only by facing every little thing seriously can we avoid the gutter capsize. This observation really found the problem. Ordinary people will definitely not feel that the entire Sanada family's manor seems to be enveloped by a layer of substantive malice. After pondering for a while, Qin Feng with a calm expression stepped inside. When he got to the door, he knocked on the door with the same expression on his face. "There is no lock, get in by yourself." Sanada Ichiro's voice sounded a little more gloomy than usual. Qin Feng's appearance didn't seem to worry about any ambush at all, so he pushed open the door and walked in. After seeing Qin Feng coming, Sanada's eye looked a little better, and there was still some expectation. It was serious for outsiders. Qin Feng was close to a godlike existence, so there was no problem he couldn't solve. Sanada Miyu's pretty face is very complicated. Until now, she can be sure that Qin Feng really didn't lie to her and took the risk. It was a chance encounter, but he was willing to take risks. It would be strange if Sanada Miyu was calm in introspection. Sanada Ichiro narrowed his eyes and said coldly, "You're still here. It seems that my sister's status in your heart is much higher than you think. I'm thinking now, are you willing to take your life in exchange for my sister's safety? Qin Feng smiled and looked very casual. Then, you think too much. The most important reason for me to come here is actually because of curiosity. I didn't expect that. If you insist on seeing me, it's like courting death. What are you trying to do? As for taking my life and changing your sister's life, don't start this kind of joke, Sanada. Ichiro, who was still squinting, laughed. Boy, you are upright. What are you talking about? Then, I'm asking you now, do you know why I want to see you? Qin Feng smiled and nodded. It's almost the same. You don't have the guts at all, and you're not courting death, because you're already dead. Now, you're at most like a marionette. Hearing this, Sanada Miyu was stunned. The eldest brother Sanada Ichiro is obviously fine, but his face looks even more hideous. How can he say that he is dead? Of course, Sanada you didn't understand, but what the father and daughter didn't expect was that Sanada Ichiro was like a cat whose tail was stepped on and said loudly, "You are talking nonsense. I will not die. The one who will die is you. It must be you. If it wasn't for me, why would you be so excited? After all, when you were alive, you didn't have the guts, and even if you were dead, you wouldn't have the guts to take the initiative to see me. Why, just let such a marionette shout here, but dare not show up to see it?" Sanada Miyu vaguely understood. Qin Feng meant that there must be other people in the dark who want to be detrimental to Qin Feng. What makes Sanada Miyu puzzled is, who is so daring, knowing that Qin Feng's strength is extremely amazing, and dare to take the initiative to tease. Isn't that a longevity star who hangs himself? Sanada Ichiro's face became even more sinister. Boy, do you really think you are invincible? Today, I will let you die without a burial. As Sanada Ichiro's voice fell, there was a strange sound of shasha. An unbelievable thing happened. From the cracks in the walls, from the floor, suddenly there were countless poisonous insects. There are brown spiders, blood-red centipedes, large colorful cockroaches, and black-inked scorpions. There are more poisonous insects that can't be named, and they appear densely. It looks like it can devour everyone here in minutes. Chapter 229 The Walking Dead. Sanada Yu and Sanada Miyu did not expect such a thing to happen at all, and the impact of that moment was even more terrifying than seeing a strange beast. Sanada Ichiro's face became more and more hideous, and he was laughing wildly. "I don't believe you are not dead. Die for me." At this time, countless small emerald green snakes the size of chopsticks appeared, and the entire room was filled with poisonous insects, madly attacking. The sound of shasha makes people's teeth sour involuntarily. Sanada Miyu's pretty face was extraordinarily pale. At this moment, she was regretting it, so she shouldn't have called Qin Feng. Speaking of which, the little girl is kind-hearted and feels that Qin Feng's life is much more important than the lives of the father and daughter. As long as Qin Feng is there, no matter how fierce the beast is, it won't be able to make waves. If something happened here, it would not only harm Qin Feng, but also harm countless people. Out of instinct, Sanada Miyu blurted out, "Qin Sang, hurry up, hurry up." Sanada Miyu felt that Qin Feng could not deal with so many terrifying poisonous insects, but with Qin Feng's ability to control the wind, if he wanted to escape, it would be no problem. Qin Feng's face is still very calm. Sanada Miyu is so worried and afraid. That is, he has never seen Qin Feng's shot in Phoenix Mountain Point back then. Thousands of poisonous insects were even crazier than they are now, but they couldn't help Qin Feng at all. Sword. Come. Qin Feng spit out 2 words slowly, followed by a roar of dragons. A dazzling brilliance flickered, and the dragon Yin sword was already in his hand. In an instant, there is a vast momentum, forming a substantial pressure, spreading around. No matter how fierce the poisonous insects were, at this moment, they were completely intimidated and dared not move forward at all. Sanada Ichiro was stunned, and then shouted loudly, kill him for me." It's a pity that, no matter how Ichiro Sanada urged, those poisonous insects still did not dare to move forward. Trash, it's all trash, Sanada. Ichiro was so angry that he followed. A strange scream came out of his mouth, and his face became extremely distorted, as if his entire facial features were crowded together. Wow. Sanada Ichiro seemed to vomit suddenly, and he spit out a blood clot from his mouth. Immediately afterwards, an even more incredible thing happened. From Sanada Ichiro's mouth, a blood-red snake appeared, with blue eyes. It just appeared, and it all carried a huge hostile aura. Seeing this scene, Sanada Miyu couldn't help but feel a little disgusted. Kill him, Sanada. Ichiro's face became even more ferocious, and that weird little snake made a sharp hissing sound. Qin Feng frowned slightly and said slowly, I didn't expect that in the Japanese country, I could also encounter the legendary life goo. Saying that you are just a marionette, it's not wrong at all. After the weird little snake appeared, Sanada Ichiro looked a little sluggish in addition to roaring and killing him. Led by the weird little snake, those poisonous insects finally gathered up their courage and charged towards Qin Feng frantically. Sanada Miyu's heart that just fell, hangs up again. Poisonous insects and alien beasts are completely different, and, looking at the larger number, normally, as long as one is not careful, as long as they are bitten, it will definitely cause a big accident. When Qin Feng was dealing with alien beasts, he was always at a disadvantage. Now, is it really possible to deal with poisonous insects? Facing the impact of countless poisonous insects, Qin Feng's face did not show any emotional changes throughout the whole process, as if even if the sky collapsed, this strange man could keep his face intact. Around Qin Feng's body, a colorful halo skyrocketed. He did not flinch, did not evade, but stepped forward to meet those poisonous insects at the beginning. He encountered the impact of poisonous insects in Phoenix Mountain. Although Qin Feng solved it by diverting water, he thought about it later. If this happens next time, and there is no suitable water source around, what should he do? In the past few days, Qin Feng kept thinking about it, and he already had the answer. Since he can communicate with the Supreme Fire, refine the medicinal pills, and refine the immortal weapon, Qin Feng simply introduces the Supreme Fire into his body point. If someone else did this, they would probably be burned alive, but the spiritual energy in Qin Feng's body was extremely majestic. In any dangerous situation, you can find a balanced guide and completely hide the fire in your body. Now, countless poisonous insects rushed forward. Qin Feng simply sacrificed the Supreme Fire Point the next moment. No matter how ferocious the poisonous insects attacked, they were instantly melted, and the residues were not even visible, and they completely melted into the high temperature point. That is the ground fire for refining medicine pills and immortal soldiers, and the mere poisonous insects are not even alien beasts. At most, it is only because of the influence of suffocation. With a little mutation, how can it be resisted? Qin Feng is like a walking high temperature stove. Wherever he goes, the poisonous insects there will dissipate, and there will be no accidents. Well, Sanada Yu and Sanada Miyu were once again shocked. Point this time, Sanada Miyu quickly regained her composure, mainly because she was used to it. As if Qin Feng did anything earth-shattering, it was less surprising. Sanada Ichiro, who looked a little sluggish, became a little surprised, and muttered to himself, This is impossible. This must be impossible. Kill him, kill him. With Sanada Ichiro's loud roar, the weird little snake, lightning bolted towards Qin Feng's eyes. I have to say, this weird little snake is still a little smart. I think Qin Feng is even more powerful. The eyes are relatively speaking. It's also a weak spot point. It's just that the weird little snake is fast, but Qin Feng is faster. Chuck. The long iron sword was unsheathed again, and in an instant, the sword energy rushed to its peak state. The colorful rays of light disappeared in a flash, accompanied by the earth-shattering sound of the dragon's roar. The next moment, that strange little snake with a fierce aura was already strangled and shattered by the dragon's yin sword. No matter how strong it is still a weird little snake. How can it compete with the dragon-like dragon yin sword? At the moment, when the strange little snake was beheaded, Sanada Ichiro let out a shrill scream, and his face was twisted again. The body has fallen to the ground, rolling constantly, as if suffering unimaginable pain. From the mouth, eyes, nose, and even ears, dark red blood began to flow out, and the screams became more and more shrill. Sanada Miyu glanced at him, feeling a little unbearable. No matter what, he was his big brother, but it would be better if he pleaded with Qin Feng. Sanada Ichiro has come to this point. After all, it is his own fault. Soon, Sanada Ichiro's body shrank together at a weird angle, and the whole person was silent, as if his life was completely lost with the death of the weird little snake. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 230. What is it? The matter seems to have come to an end, whether it is Sanada U or Sanada Miu, although I feel a little uncomfortable in my heart because of Sanada Ichiro's death, but in the end it did not cause more damage. Unexpectedly, Qin Feng looked out the window and said slowly, at this point, are you still thinking about hiding your head and showing your tail? The complexion of the father and daughter changed, and there is still a black hand behind the scenes. For a short time, there was no response from outside, as if Qin Feng's judgment was wrong. After smiling, Qin Feng calmly said, why, are you asking me to meet you? This time, it didn't take long before a hoarse response came, no need, since I dared to come, I didn't intend to avoid you. Boy, you have committed too many murders. Today, I'm the one who came to send you on your way. Sanada Miu's pretty face changed. It seems that she really can't doubt Qin Feng's judgment. There are really other people outside. As the response fell, as if teleporting, there was already another person in the room. Covered in black robes, he couldn't see his true face clearly. It gave people the feeling of being particularly sinister. With the arrival of the black-robed man, the temperature in the room seemed to drop quickly. Qin Feng still has a smile on his face. Since you are so confident, why do you have to hide your head and show your tail? If you want to send me on the road, you don't even dare to show your true colors. Just you. You don't deserve to see my true colors when you die. You are very confident, man. Arm is a car. You have long been doomed to die without a burial place. The man in black robe, Hualihor, revealed that he was very dissatisfied with Qin Feng and even hated it a little bit. I don't quite understand. You knew me before, and you still have some fat friends who died because of me, so you have such a big resentment. But, in my impression, it's the first time I see you. Although he can't see the true face of the other party, Qin Feng's current perception ability is extremely strong, and he can judge from the breath of the black-robed man's head that they are definitely meeting for the first time. The black-robed man snorted coldly and spoke in a hoarse voice, stop talking nonsense. Now, die for me, Sanada. Miu couldn't help but feel a little nervous. She had seen Qin Feng's strength more than once, and if she knew ordinary people, it would be impossible to do anything about Qin Feng. The problem was that after the black-robed man appeared, his words were too confident. With that appearance, it seems that he can hold Qin Feng firmly in minutes. Before I could think about it, the black-robed man's body was approaching like a ghost, and in a blink of an eye, he was in front of Qin Feng. When the wrist is turned, there is an extra butterfly knife. The cold light flickered, and the butterfly knife came to Qin Feng's throat. Qin Feng still stood there motionless, as if he didn't see the murderous butterfly knife. When the butterfly knife was close to his eyes, Qin Feng finally shot, his fists raised, and the last one came first. The entire speed was more than double that of the black-robed man. The black-robed man's body, without any stagnation, suddenly retreated. To be honest, Qin Feng's speed was faster than he expected, and it was no wonder that so many companions died in Qin Feng's hands. The entire response was fast, and the retreat was neat and tidy. It's just that the black-robed man is fast, and Qin Feng's is even faster. Stepping forward, the distance between the two was instantly compressed, making the black-robed man's dodge become useless. The right hand punched, which seemed to be heavy, but it was actually a false move. Qin Feng's real killer move is in his left hand, pointing like a knife. In the blink of an eye, there is even a vast force of the sword. Generally speaking, people will instinctively think that the right hand is the main direction of attack. What Qin Feng wants is to do the opposite, and the speed is amazing. Seeing that the man in black robe could not avoid it, but a strange scene happened at this time. The black-robed man's body, as if there was no half a bone, twisted strangely, and avoided Qin Feng's left-hand attack with incredible dodging movements. Running towards Qin Feng's temple came point. Although Sanada Miu can only understand a general idea, she also understands in her heart that the man in black robes dodged and counterattacked, and he did not take the usual path at all. It was too unexpected. It is extremely easy to be tricked. Qin Feng at this time is absolutely dangerous. Be careful, instinctively, he reminded him, but Sanada, you could hardly see the duel between the two, let alone that Qin Feng's current situation could be said to be extremely dangerous. Qin Feng's face was still calm, and when he flipped his wrist, he blurted out, "Sword come." The dragon yin sword suddenly flashed, accompanied by a dragon-like roaring sound, and the vast sword energy rushed to its peak in a short period of time. It's too late. It's too soon. Qin Feng's counterattack was extremely sharp, and the dragon yin sword swept across with a monstrous sword energy point. The man in black robe sucked in a breath. He deliberately showed weakness just now, just wanting to attack Qin Feng by surprise. He never expected that Qin Feng's entire response was at textbook level. The situation of the man in the robe became extremely embarrassing. The body suddenly retreated. During the whole process, the body looked very distorted. It is impossible for a normal person to become like this. Think about it. If a person has no bones, how can he still live? The man in black robe went against the flexibility of common sense and saved his life again. Crack. The butterfly knife became smashed, and the subsequent attack of the long iron sword did not cause more damage to the black robed man. The two fought very quickly, as if it was just a moment. The next moment, the man in black robe didn't hesitate, and didn't even want to continue to do anything to Qin Feng. His figure was twisted at a strange angle, his speed reached the limit, and he chose to escape. Well, at that time, he still looked like he was holding Qin Feng firmly. After the fight, he had already judged that it was impossible to kill Qin Feng by him alone. There was no trace of sluggishness in escaping. When you come, don't leave. Qin Feng's indifferent voice sounded, and he couldn't see any force. However, he followed the black-robed man closely. At the same time, Long Yinjian made a buzzing reputation again, and the whole room was filled with majestic sword spirit. At this moment, ordinary people like Sanada Yu and Sanada Miyu can clearly feel the vastness of the sword energy, and there is a faint urge to worship. The sword key crosses the sword, interweaving a death cross shape in midair. Qin Feng is a little curious now. What is this black robe man? And his body can be twisted like that. No matter what, when he dies under long iron sword, everything will be known. Chapter 231. Something is abnormal. The man in black robe felt the murderous attack of the dragon yin sword, and his face was grim. Now, he has to work hard if he doesn't. There was a strange cry in the mouth, and the next moment, countless black mists emanated from the man's body, with a fishy smell. Qin Feng frowned slightly, but he was not worried about himself, but felt that Sanada Miyu and Sanada Xiang would definitely be in danger, because Qin Feng clearly felt the strong poison in the black mist, emitted by the man. After a little thought, Qin Feng's response was extremely decisive. The figure suddenly retreated, and the moment before, he was still chasing the black-robed man, and in less than a blink of an eye, he was already in front of Sanada Miyu. Eat this. Sanada Miyu was stunned, and felt Qin Feng hand over a medicinal pill. The current Sanada Miyu has no ordinary trust in Qin Feng, and without any hesitation, he took the medicinal pill directly. Sanada Yu has also received a medicinal pill, and like his daughter, he opened his mouth to eat it. The man in black robe had already taken this opportunity to escape from the door like lightning. The black fog filled the air and the strong poison spread. However, because of the medicine pill, it was not able to hurt Sanada Yu and Sanada Miyu in the slightest. As for Qin Feng, this little toxicity is difficult for him, and naturally it will not have any impact. With a little bit of power under his feet, Qin Feng is like an arrow from the string, and has already chased out. The black-robed man fled outside the door, and immediately sped away, feeling a little relieved in his heart, feeling that he would definitely be able to escape. Who would have thought that in the blink of an eye, he felt a majestic pressure coming from behind him. Trembling in his heart, he was almost on the verge of swearing. He never thought that Qin Feng's speed would be so terrifying. Gritting his teeth, the black-robed man suddenly accelerated. It's just that Qin Feng's speed hits with all his strength, maybe a few points faster than lightning. It took only one breath before and after, and it was already behind the man. But Long Yinjian once again made a thunderous reputation, followed by the sword energy. The man in black robe was extremely decisive at this moment. He didn't even think about fighting back, or even avoiding it completely. He just made a slight mistake, avoiding the key point and rushing forward with all his strength. This is to fight for injury and escape from Qin Feng. The farther the better. PFFT. The dragon sword pierced into the man's body. Qin Feng followed his left hand into a palm, and a vast strength condensed and printed on the back of the black-robed man. Boom. The muffled sound sounded, and the tyrannical force rushed over in a short time. The whole body of the black-robed man was like a kite with a broken string, and rushed out very far in an instant. Qin Feng is very confident in his own shot, just 2 heavy blows just now. Even if Daniel Jinxon descends to the world, he will definitely not get any benefits. It stands to reason that the black-robed man will definitely die. After confirming that it was not a tiger leaving the mountain, Sanada Yu and Sanada Miyu in the room behind him was safe. Qin Feng's figure flashed, and he arrived at the place where the black-robed man was shot down just now. Frowning slightly, Qin Feng was a little surprised. It was originally expected that the black-robed man would die, but who would have thought that there was no black-robed man here at all. This fighting ability exceeded Qin Feng's expectations. Speaking of which, it was a little embarrassing. It was the first time Qin Feng made a mistake in judgment. The more Qin Feng thought about it, the more he felt that something was wrong. He definitely shouldn't T-point, even if the Langayan sword missed the vital position, because the black-robed man tried desperately to avoid it, but the palm of his hand would definitely hit the black-robed man's back. In this case, would the black-robed man still be alive? Unless the heart position of the black-robed man is different from that of normal people, he survived. Standing on the spot, Qin Feng quickly searched the surroundings with his spiritual sense, but he couldn't find any trace of the black-robed man. This is a bit interesting. The man in black robe is not only more capable of fighting than expected, but the level of hiding is also very powerful. At this time, Qin Feng had already thought that when the black-robed man first met, he spoke very strangely. Ming Ming and Qin Feng met for the first time. Where did such a big hatred come from? Besides, since Qin Feng became an immortal cultivator, he has only killed alien beasts and has not hurt other innocent people. The man in black robe obviously colluded with Ichiro Sanada and manipulated Ichiro Sanada to kill Qin Feng put to death. Where is the problem? Qin Feng thought for a while, and his eyes suddenly lit up. The black-robed man wanted to take revenge. He could only take revenge for the alien beast. Then he thought of the illusion and the weird alien beast he saw behind the vortex gate in the sky. Human language. It seems that the man in black robe may not be the normal human being expected, but a strange beast. If so, then everything makes sense. Qin Feng thought for a while, and felt that this was the only possibility. The man was an alien beast. After transforming into a humanoid, the position of his heart was still different from that of a normal person, so even though he was seriously injured, he did not lose his life. Speaking of which, no matter how the black-robed man escaped, the impact on Qin Feng was not very big. Judging from this fight, even if he feared the man with a few more courage, he would not dare to trouble Qin Feng again. It's just that, if Qin Feng's judgment is correct, then let other clansmen be more careful when facing alien beasts or facing danger. It may look like a familiar person, but in fact, the next moment it may reveal the true face of the beast. If you don't take precautions in advance, it is very likely to be dangerous. Qin Feng was thinking about something, and when he heard a movement behind him, he looked back and found that it was Sanada Miyu who came out. After seeing Qin Feng, Sanada Miyu subconsciously breathed a sigh of relief. Qin-sang, you're fine, just fine. It was obvious that the little girl had been waiting in the room for a long time. She thought that something had happened to Qin Feng, so she endured the fear in her heart and came out to investigate. After seeing Qin Feng, she almost burst into tears for a moment. Eyebrows. Qin Feng's voice is still gentle. Of course I'll be fine. Are you okay? Thanks to Qin-sang, whether it's me or my father, there's no problem now. Thank you very much for saving me over and over again. I don't know what to say. You don't have to be polite. Others may be pretending to be humble when they say this, but when Qin Feng said this, it can only show that he really thinks so in his heart. There is no way. The main strength is too strong in the eyes of others. Things that are inconceivable may become trivial in the eyes of Qin Feng. Qin-sang, we have to express our thanks. Do you have time tomorrow? If you are not busy, Qin Feng waved his hand and interrupted Miyu Sanada. Forget about thanking me. Tomorrow, I should leave the Japanese country, and I have other things to do. Chapter 232 Sow a seed. When Sanada Miyu heard Qin Feng's words, her delicate and beautiful face was instantly dazed, but her eyes unconsciously showed a look of reluctance. Although the time the two have known and contacted is less than a day, it may be because the experience of the two during this period is too rich, so Sanada Miyu has an illusion, as if the two have known each other. Long time, the same point pursing his lips. Miyu Sanada said, are you in such a hurry? The main thing is that there is still work to do. Qin Feng didn't forget what Kinzu said on the phone. If nothing else happened, he would definitely go to Pharaoh's country to see what was going on there. Yeah, you have too many things to do, Sanada. Miyu couldn't help feeling a little sad in her heart, but she kindly didn't continue to struggle with this issue and asked, who was the person who shot just now, and why did he kill me and my father? Qin Feng pondered for a while, but did not hide it. I don't feel like he's trying to do something to you. His real target is me, and you're just implicated. Then, has he been eliminated by you? Qin Feng shook his head. There was a little accident, and he escaped. Maybe, he still has the possibility of surviving. Sanada Miyu looked surprised. With Qin Feng's strength, he was able to survive with all his strength. That person is absolutely no trivial matter. It seems that my father and I will be more careful in the future. Qin Feng pondered for a while, thinking in his heart that if that strange person were to do something to Sanada Miyu, even if he was seriously injured, it would definitely not be Sanada Miyu who could guard against it. Besides, if Qin Feng's inference at that time was correct, no one could say whether more weird things would happen. If more alien beasts can be transformed into humanoids, to be honest, if one extrapolates, the entire Japanese country may be silently controlled by alien beasts, and at that time, they may not be able to deal with the Qin family at all. Ask for help. This kind of thing will happen in Japan, and no one can guarantee that the same thing will happen in China. After thinking for a while, Qin Feng said slowly, it's fate that we met once. Before we part, I'll give you a gift. Sanada Miyu was stunned and blurted out, then, I'm so sorry. You saved my life and my family's lives several times. Until now, I haven't thanked you properly. How can I be so embarrassed to accept your gift? It doesn't matter, to be honest. I also have my own selfishness to give you a gift. On the one hand, I want to see if you, as a Japanese, can become an immortal cultivator. Another point is that if you are a follower in the Japanese country, if something weird happens, can you deal with it in time and let me know? Sanada Miyu's eyes widened, and she suspected that she had heard it wrong. Do you think I can become a cultivator? Well, that means the gift you gave me, it must be extraordinary. I have to say, this little girl is very smart. Qin Feng took out the classic novel from the system. The only thing that was a little difficult was that Qin Feng asked, can you understand Chinese? If you can't, it will be too troublesome. The beautiful Sanada Miyu nodded immediately, her expression a little excited. I can. I went to Huaxia just to learn the culture of China, and naturally I will know the characters in your place. That's a good time to try. As he spoke, Qin Feng handed over the novel. After Zenshin Miyu took it, she looked at Qin Feng with anticipation in her eyes. After a while, there was no response from Qin Feng, and Sanada Miyu spoke with some doubts. Do you regret it? Didn't you just say you wanted to give me a gift to help me become a cultivator? You have been given what you should have. Sanada Miyu was completely confused. You never tell me that if you want to become an immortal cultivator, you rely on this novel. Well, it's really like this. Of course, it depends on the chance. If it doesn't work, there's no need to struggle. Now, it's not too early, so I'll go first. When the voice fell, Qin Feng didn't give Sanada Miyu a chance to speak again, and left gracefully. Sanada Miyu was still in a state of confusion. She looked left and right with the book in her hand, completely puzzled. How could such a thing happen in the world? To become an immortal is to see this? Forget it. It must be Qin Feng who felt that the atmosphere of parting was too heavy and was deliberately joking with me. There is no way, and I can't blame Sanada Miyu. If it was someone else, I wouldn't believe that such a thing would happen. After returning home, Sanada Yu had already contacted someone to come and tidied up the slightly messy room. Seeing that his daughter was a little lost, Sanada Yu was moved and asked, "Has Qin Feng gone?" Sanada Miyu nodded, her expression still a little sad. "He has something else to do and has already said goodbye." It's normal. How can a strange man like Qin Feng be able to relax? Miyu, you don't need to be too sad about this matter. Knowing Qin Feng is a great opportunity. Besides, in the future, you can go to Huaxia and visit Qin Feng. Father said so. Sanada Miyu forced a smile and then returned to his room. After tossing and turning, she couldn't sleep, and she always felt that what happened today seemed to be more thrilling and exciting than what she had put together in the past 20 years. In the end, Sanada Miyu, who was idle and bored, simply picked up the book Qin Feng left behind and flipped through it. I didn't think that I could become an immortal cultivator by doing this. However, after watching it for a while, I was attracted. I don't know how long it took. Spiritual energy rushing in. At the same time, Qin Feng opened his eyes and the familiar voice of the system sounded in his mind. Ding. Sanada Miyu broke through to the other side. There are very few rewards given to Qin Feng now. The main reason is that some rewards have no effect on Qin Feng's strength. However, Qin Feng is still very pleased. It seems that, whether he is Chinese or not, as long as if you have the right opportunity, you can become a cultivator. Of course, Qin Feng doesn't particularly care about what will happen to Sanada Miyu in the future. Sometimes, it's just a seed that is planted. As for whether it will take root and sprout in the future, the towering tree on the Great Wall can only look at that one. The seed itself is created. Early the next morning, Watanabe also rushed to the hotel, ready to visit Qin Feng in person, hoping to get closer to Qin Feng. It was only after Watanabe arrived that he realized that Qin Feng had already left. Through Wuhu's arrangement, Qin Feng at this time has already boarded the plane to the Pharaoh Kingdom. After all, Qinzu and Qin Hao are still in danger to a certain extent. Qin Feng can't just sit back and watch. Chapter 233 The Forbidden Land of Pharaoh. Qin Feng closed his eyes almost all the time on international flights. This time, the journey was very smooth, and there was no accident like Sanada Miyu. When they arrived in the Pharaoh Kingdom, some bigwigs over there came to the airport to greet them in person. Mainly because Qin Feng came in person, and another point is that Qinzu and Qin Haoxu performed very dazzlingly when they killed alien beasts in the early stage and helped the Pharaoh Kingdom. How could they dare to neglect? Huaxia has also arranged translators. After seeing Qin Feng, he was very excited. Sect. Master Qin, hello, my name is Liu Hei, you can just call me Zio Hei. This time I will be in charge of your translation work in the Pharaoh Kingdom. If you have anything, you can arrange it at any time. Okay, trouble. Liu Hei quickly waved his hand. His face was a little red because he was too excited. No trouble, no trouble. It's my greatest honor to be able to serve you. You just came here. Do you need a rest? At the same time, the big man in charge of reception in the Pharaoh Kingdom held Qin Feng's hand and said a long speech with enthusiasm. He is thanking you and said a lot of admiration for you. Do you need me to translate it for you? Then there's no need. Qin Feng heard a lot of compliments and he didn't care much about this kind of thing. Also, he is ready to welcome you to the banquet and he hopes to accompany you there now. Qin Feng waved his hand. You don't need the banquet. Take me directly to see Qinzu and Qin Hao to learn. Although the people on the shore of the Pharaoh Kingdom are still trying their best to invite, but what Qin Feng has already decided will naturally not change. On the way to the rush, Qin Feng's consciousness kept searching and probing. It was a little strange that he did not find any general knowledge of the beast. Just as Qinzu and Qin Hao said, he could still feel the momentum. Violent anger. This shows that the Pharaoh Kingdom is not absolutely safe. Qinzu and Qin Hao learned to be cautious at the beginning. What Qin Feng didn't expect was that the system once mentioned that the Pharaoh's scepter in the Pharaoh Kingdom, like the grass pheasant sword, has an extremely rare and rare fairy sword. It stands to reason that Qin Feng's consciousness can be detected point just now, but nothing was gained. Couldn't it be a mistake in the system's judgment? That is definitely not possible. It has been several years since the system in Qin Feng's body was awakened. Although the system as a whole is quite arrogant and has an unusual temper, it has never made a mistake. The Pharaoh's scepter definitely exists, but the place where it is preserved has some meaning, and even Qin Feng's consciousness cannot detect it. With doubts in his heart, Qin Feng rushed to the place where Qin Zu and Qin Heoxu were. The pyramids here look magnificent. Qin Feng took a break from his busy schedule and looked at the surrounding scenery. At this time, Qin Zu and Qin Heoxu had already rushed over. Qin Heoxu saluted very respectfully and said, "Sect Master, you're here. Sister Zu and I were worried that something might go wrong at any time, so we didn't go to the airport to meet you." Qin Feng smiled and interrupted Qin Heoxu's words. "I don't need to talk about such trivial matters. I don't care. How is the situation?" When Qin Zu was at home, there was no pressure to abuse Qin Feng's younger brother. However, when he was on the field, he still gave Qin Feng face and said respectfully, "The overall situation is still the same. We can perceive the huge hostile energy. It is gathered here. However, if we want to find a specific exploration location, we can't find it. In the past few days, the pharaohs have also dispatched a small number of people are looking around in this area, but unfortunately, nothing has been found." After pondering for a while, Qin Feng said, "You are very cautious this time, and you did a good job. Since I'm here, let me try it." Qin Zu and Qin Heoxu naturally have no opinion, and they will not feel underestimated. They are very clear about the gap between Qin Feng and Qin Feng. In fact, after seeing Qin Feng, they both breathed a sigh of relief. No matter what problems will arise in the Pharaoh Kingdom, as long as Qin Feng arrives, there will be no problems. The spiritual energy in Qin Feng's body wandered, urging his consciousness to conduct incomparably meticulous inspections of the surroundings. However, after a while, Qin Feng frowned slightly. "I haven't been able to find out the source of the malice." "Where is it?" Qin Zu and Qin Heoxu both looked a little surprised. "Then the matter must be very difficult. I thought Qin Feng was here, but it was not yet successful. It seems that there are still twists and turns." Qin Heoxu frowned and said, "Things are too strange. Not only is there a majestic ominous aura here, but the presence of spiritual energy can also be faintly sensed. It is normal to speculate that there must be alien beasts. However, we haven't been able to find the source. It will never be us." Feeling wrong? Qin Zu shook her head and blurted out, "The two of us may be wrong, but Qin Feng is definitely not wrong. This matter is definitely weird. We must find out. If something really happens, we will deal with it. By then, I'm afraid it will be too late. If it is in Huaxia, if it cannot be found in a short period of time, it is completely possible to send immortal cultivators from the Qin family to guard here, and sooner or later find out what the problem is. The problem is that now Pharaoh, Qin Feng and other people, it is impossible to stay here for a long time." Qin Feng pondered, his eyes brightened a little. "I suddenly thought of a question just now. Heozu said that there is both hostility and spiritual energy here. However, in an area in the southeast, I can only feel the existence of hostile energy, but I don't notice the spiritual energy. Is it possible that the problem is here?" Hearing Qin Feng's words, the two moved in their hearts, and Qin Zu had already said, "That's right, there must be demons when things are impermanent. At that time, I also felt this problem, but I didn't think much about it. Now listen to you, maybe, the problem really lies there." Qin Heoxu exhaled and said, "Then what are we waiting for? Let's go and have a look. Won't all the truth be revealed?" At present, the three of them are no longer entangled, and they rushed to the southeast direction. The translator, Liu He, and the escorts sent by the pharaohs followed the three of them. People have a kind of blind obedience to the strong. They don't ask Qin Feng and others what they want to sit. They just think that as long as Qin Feng wants to do, it must be right. After walking forward for about half an hour, the people from the Pharaoh Kingdom suddenly stopped here. At the same time, 2 or 3 people rushed to the front and gestured to Qin Feng one after another, preventing Qin Feng from continuing to move forward. "What's going on?" Qin Feng frowned slightly, puzzled. The translator Liu He listened carefully, and the expression on his face was a little strange. Sect Master Qin, they said that the place ahead was cursed by the devil. In Pharaoh's country, it was called a forbidden place, and no one could go in. Otherwise, there would be no return. Chapter 234 The Fallen Land. Qin Feng glanced at the talking bangs and frowned slightly. What exactly did they say? You need to translate it in detail. I see. Liu He asked several people from the Pharaoh kingdom again, and his brows became tighter and tighter during the whole process. After a while, Liu He looked at Qin Feng with a surprised expression and said, Sect Master Qin, I'm sure I've understood what they said. The front is the forbidden land of the Pharaoh country since ancient times. Come on, you understand what the pyramids are for, right? There are countless legends about the pyramids, but in essence, the pyramids are the tombs of the ancient pharaohs of the Pharaoh kingdom. When they died, to be honest, the more such a places, the easier it is for some legends to exist. I know this. Is it because this is the tomb of the pharaoh, so it has become a forbidden place? Qin Heoxu said at this time, shouldn't it be? Aren't all pyramids allowed to visit, and there is no such thing as a forbidden place? Liu He frowned and finally spoke. Things are different from what we thought. Although the pyramid is a tomb, nothing specific and strange happened. It's just that people have entered the area ahead, but no one has been able to come out alive. Qinzu asked curiously, is that because something happened? After asking a few more questions, Liu He answered again. They said that, if they knew what happened, it wouldn't be called a forbidden place. According to two ancient legends, it is a fallen place. Anyone who enters will be sucked into the soul, and there will be no chance of reincarnation. Qin Heoxu blurted out, Pharaoh also believes this? Qin Feng's expression has always been calm, and he said slowly, if they didn't believe this, they wouldn't have to spend so much to build a pharaoh's tomb. That's right. Could it be that this place is really so evil? Or, it is precisely because of the forbidden area that we feel the monstrous hostility, which has nothing to do with the invasion of alien beasts. Several people looked at Qinzu who was talking, and felt that there was some truth in what he said. Liu He thought for a while, then lowered his voice and said, Sect Master Qin, after all, we are abroad, and we must respect their customs to a certain extent. Besides, if there is a problem here, we will not find any responsibility in the later stage. Anyway, it is the people of the pharaoh who stop us. Let in. Qin Heoxu nodded subconsciously. That's right. Anyway, we can't find our troubles in the end. Qin Feng pondered for a while, and said slowly, we can indeed leave here, but if there are alien beasts here, there will definitely be countless people killed and injured in the later stage. Can we really turn a blind eye? Have you forgotten what I said? In the near future, there will definitely be more. There's a big change happening. At that time, no one can be sure what crisis will arise in the future. Now, try to reduce all hidden dangers as much as possible, and make more preparations for the future. As a translator, Liu He didn't understand much, but felt that Qin Feng was fraternity, but Qinzu and Qin Heo knew very well in their hearts. Qin Feng and the clansmen revealed that maybe soon, the different world and the real world will merge. At that time, there will definitely be earth-shaking changes, and no one can guarantee that the Qin family alone will be able to deal with all the crises. What Qin Feng meant was to plan ahead now. Now that the pharaohs have found the Qin family, all the hidden dangers will be solved. When they are very hungry, it means they have one more ally. Qinzu exhaled, nodded and said, you still think long term, then you can make a decision. I will definitely support it unconditionally. Yes, Sect Master, tell me, anyway, you are here, no matter what forbidden place he is, can't we still go? Qin Feng was very satisfied with Qin Heoxu and Qinzu's reaction, and then looked at Liu He. You tell them that there are huge hidden dangers and crises in the so-called forbidden land. For the safety of their pharaoh country, we'd better take a trip. Things have come to this point. What more can Liu He say? You can only translate obediently. Don't forget, as a translator, you have been instructed by some big bosses in Huaxia to cooperate with Qin Feng throughout the whole process to a certain extent. You must not violate Qin Feng's meaning. After Liu He translated it to those in the Pharaoh Kingdom, the overall reaction of those people was a little excited. Some people even prayed by drawing a cross in front of their chests after listening. For a while, Liu He spoke. Sect Master Qin, they still say that the place is too dangerous. In fact, what they are more worried about is that for so many years, although no one is allowed to enter the forbidden area, there is no abnormality or danger. Change, but will bring disaster to the pharaohs. There are still people. After entering, they must be dead. It is said that over the years, only one person has ever come out alive. When Qin Heoxu heard this, he was instantly refreshed. So, it's not inevitable that you will die. With a wry smile, Liu He looked a little helpless. Although that person didn't die after he came out, he went crazy and didn't bring out any valuable news. Some people even said that that person was possessed by nightmares because after he came out, 3 days later, he was insane, killed his own family, and then committed suicide. Qin Zhu and Qin Heoxu's faces were a little ugly. It would be better to die inside. As a result, their family members suffered. It seems that this so-called forbidden place, or a degenerate place, is a bit evil. Liu He's face is still very embarrassed. Sect Master Qin, let me tell you the truth. That is, you said that you want to go in. Although they are excited, they haven't done anything drastic. If there are other people, it is estimated that these people from the Pharaoh Kingdom have turned their faces. Under this situation, do you want to enter the Fallen Land? Think again. Obviously, Liu He still doesn't want Qin Feng to continue wading in this murky water. In his opinion, helping the Pharaoh to eliminate those alien beasts has already done his best, so why bother? After pondering for a while, Qin Feng's expression looked very calm, but what he said was invisibly firm. I definitely still have to go in and see. This matter will not change. Liu He was helpless and could only continue to communicate with those from the Pharaoh country. Although those people were still emotional, it was Qin Feng who was speaking, and they didn't dare to stop them, so they could only report to the top. After waiting here for a long time, only the big guy from the Pharaoh country came. After communicating with Qin Feng, he saw that Qin Feng was so determined, so he could only agree to let Qin Feng enter the so-called fallen place. Chapter 235 A closer look. Although the people of the Pharaoh Kingdom are particularly terrifying, Qin Feng's expression was indifferent from the beginning to the end. He turned around and walked inside. It didn't seem like he was going to experience any danger at all. It's more like visiting relatives and friends at this time. Qin Zhu said, I'll go in with you, and me. Qin Heoxu was naturally unwilling to lag behind. We came together, and we must advance and retreat together. Qin Feng smiled. They say it's a wicked place. For safety's sake, let me go in and take a look. If there is any danger, I can deal with it. That won't work. If we need you to take risks in person every time, but we don't do anything, then even if there is a crisis in the future, it's easy for you to be too busy alone. Let's go in together, sister. Zhu is right, Sect Master. Don't worry, we won't be a burden to you. After thinking about it, Qin Feng said, well, in order to prevent any accidents, sister, you should stay outside, and Heyo Zhu and I will go in and have a look. Qin Zhu was quite dissatisfied. Why should I stay outside? Okay, that's it. After we go in, we can't tell when we will come out. Also, just in case, if something happens, someone has to contact the other immortal cultivators in our family. This is an order. Do you understand? Qin Feng said so. Qin Zhu had no choice but to come down. The two rushed towards the so-called Fallen Land, and soon they disappeared from the sight of everyone. Those from the Pharaoh Kingdom were still praying constantly. Obviously, they are afraid to the core of this forbidden area. Qin Feng and Qin Heoxu walked side by side. Along the way, they were relatively cautious and constantly used their spiritual sense to probe the surrounding situation. After a while, Qin Heoxu frowned and said, Sect Master, there are indeed some evil sects here. I feel that the more I go inside, the scope that my consciousness can detect is shrinking. Now, I'm afraid it's less than 10 meters away. Qin Feng nodded. I also noticed it. If there is any danger within a radius of 100 meters, I can still sense it. Let's continue to look forward. It is good. Qin Heogsu couldn't help but instinctively sighed. This is the gap. The strength of consciousness between himself and the sect master is completely incomparable. After the two continued to move forward, Qin Feng waved his hand to stop. Sect master, what's wrong? Not right, huh? What's wrong? To be honest, Qin Heogsu hasn't found anything unusual so far. Qin Feng pointed to a small hill next to him and asked, don't you think it looks familiar there? Qin Heogsu frowned, thought about it, and nodded. It's a little familiar. It seems that at that time, we passed a similar hill, and it looked like this. It's not the same. It's the same. Hearing Qin Feng's words, Qin Heogsu couldn't help but froze for a moment. After approaching, he observed carefully, and the expression on his face became a little ugly. The sect master is right. We really passed by here a long time ago. So, we turned around for a while, and returned to the original place. Qin Feng said slowly, after I entered the vortex of the Sea of Clouds last time, I realized a truth. Sometimes, your eyes can deceive people, let alone feelings. Maybe, you think it's been a long time. In fact, it may be in the here, an hour, or even a day, has passed. Qin Heogsu's face became more solemn. The sect master is right. I really didn't expect this. It's a bit like the legendary ghost hitting the wall, and the hostility here is even more obvious. Is it possible that there are really some ghosts and gods making trouble? Qin Feng did not jump to conclusions, but pointed to the front. Let's try to move forward again. The two continued to move forward. As a result, the direction of this time was more rugged. Along the way, they found a lot of bones. Qin Heogsu was able to judge that it was left behind after people died. It seems that those people in the Pharaoh kingdom did not lie or exaggerate. There are indeed many people who died here in this degenerate land. After walking for a while, strange things happened again. Qin Feng and Qin Heogsu saw the familiar hill again, which was like turning around, and couldn't find the direction at all. Sect master, what should we do now? Qin Heogsu was not afraid, but he felt very annoying. This kind of thing can't be solved in one fight. Qin Feng, who looked calm, said, stay calm, don't worry. The more anxious you are, the more wrong you will be in making judgments and decisions. Yes, Qin Heogsu's face couldn't help blushing. When he was not by Qin Feng's side, he always felt that he could be on his own. In fact, compared to the suzerain, not only in terms of strength, but also in mentality, close your eyes and follow me by feeling. Qin Heogsu was almost stunned when he heard this. The sect master just said that sometimes people's feelings can deceive people. As a result, now they have to follow their own feelings. What is even more difficult to understand is that if you open your eyes and try to distinguish the direction, you will go the wrong way. Now, if you close your eyes and go, you will be trapped here. Point at this time. Qin Feng had closed his eyes and stepped forward. Point. Even though Qin Heogsu had more questions in his heart, he still instinctively believed Qin Feng, gritted his teeth, and simply followed. This time it took longer than taking it away several times. Qin Heogsu couldn't help thinking that it wasn't that he was disrespectful to the sect master, but is this method really reliable? Could it be that the two of them actually closed their eyes and kept going around in circles? Qin Feng's voice sounded at this time. Don't worry, just follow me and keep moving forward. Remember, sometimes your eyes are faster than your eyes. Be calm and use your spiritual sense to feel the difference around you. Yes, sect master. After Qin Heogsu responded, he was calm and concentrated, and the spiritual energy in his body wandered. According to Qin Feng, he tried his best to feel the changes around him with his spiritual sense. He never thought about it, but it was really rewarding. He clearly felt that the surrounding area is different from what he experienced back then, which is equivalent to saying that the two people did not go around in circles and take detours. Before Qin Heogsu could breathe a sigh of relief, he felt that something was wrong. It stands to reason that there is only sect master Qin Feng around. Why, at this moment, do you feel that there are other people? No, it's not the other one. There are at least 2 people here, as if 2 people should be walking. Now, I don't know when, there are 2 more people who are quietly following up. This feeling is too strange. For a time, even the extraordinary Qin Feng can't help but feel a little cold in his heart. Chapter 236 Monster's Haunt. The moment he noticed something was wrong, Qin Feng opened his mouth and was about to make a sound to remind Qin Feng. The moment he opened his mouth, he felt a slippery presence. He rushed directly into the mouth. Qin Feng instinctively stepped back. Unexpectedly, the speed of the other party was extremely fast. The mountains hold down the general, F***K. Qin Feng's mind instinctively burst into foul language. What is this? At this time, he couldn't care about anything else. Qin Feng instinctively opened his eyes and looked, and as a result, he took a deep breath. At the position of his back, he could clearly feel the existence of the armor, and at the same time, through the corner of his eyes, he saw a monster with a human body, but it was a python head, wrapping around his body. I don't know which angle the tail protruded from, but at this time it rushed into Qin Feng's mouth. Just when he didn't understand what to do, Qin Feng's voice just sounded, "Don't be stunned, do your best, this monster wants to lay eggs in your body." Hearing this, Qin Feng was immediately stunned. He immediately realized that this monster might have stolen the body of a normal person. After laying eggs in the body, when the python grows, it will break through the head of the person. Law, just thinking about it, makes people feel that it is not generally miserable. Without any hesitation, Qin Feng counterattacked with a bang. Boom. The heavy punch slammed into the monster's armor. With the strength of this punch, let alone a cow, even a small mountain in front of him would have to be cracked by Qin Feng. Unexpectedly, when he hit the armor of the monster's body, he felt a strong force bounce back, causing Qin Feng's arm to feel numb. At this moment, he felt a daze in his mind, and his body became cold. Qin Feng wanted to fight back, but he couldn't. The energy in his body had collapsed like a tide. It's over. I didn't expect that I would die like this in the end. It's too miserable. Judging from the thoughts that emerged in Qin Feng's mind, he was already desperate at this time. At a critical moment, a buzzing sound pierced the night sky. The golden light instantly soared. In Qin Feng's hands, it was the trump card rewarded by the system. When dealing with the Japanese sword of the Japanese killer, it had an unparalleled effect. Now, in the face of the strange armor monster, Qin Feng did not use the Langayan sword, but chose to fight the soul. In the whistling sound, the trump card swept across the 8 wastelands. It was at this time that Qin Feng, who was in a daze, saw clearly that there was only one monster armor against himself. In fact, there were at least 6 or 7 armor monsters that attacked Qin Feng. Obviously, these monsters can also feel that Qin Feng is putting more pressure on them. The trump card swept across, but those armored monsters had no intention of dodging and rushed directly to Qin Feng, choosing the front hard steel. The brave who meet on a narrow road wins. Even if the armored monster does not retreat, then Qin Feng is even more impossible to retreat. If he does not make a move, he will never show any mercy. Boom. Said it was too late, but it was too soon, and the trump card hit the armor ruthlessly. You must know that when Qin Feng attacked with all his strength just now, the armor did not respond at all. Qin Feng's shot gave people the first impression that it also had no effect. The defense of the armor was sky-defying. Qin Feng was completely unconscious. At this moment, the armored monster hit by Qin Feng made an earth-shattering roar. The essence of Qin Feng's move seems to be confrontational, but in fact it is not. The tyrannical force came on, and those armored monsters were astonishingly hostile, and they were somewhat similar to the legendary Yin. After the screams, the tyrannical strength is still flooding. The next moment, the armored monster couldn't bear the impact of the follow-up force at all, and the whole strange body burst open in response, and the flesh and blood flew. Qin Feng didn't have the slightest complacency and hesitation. His figure flashed, and he approached Qin Feng like an instant. But the whistling sound began, and the trump card was revived. The armored monster clinging to Qin Feng was already thinking about dodging, but unfortunately, the speed of bullying was too fast, exceeding the monster's expectations. Boom. In The muffled sound, the mace hit the armor. The tyrannical impact made the armored monster unable to continue laying eggs in Qin Heoxu's body, and his body retreated, trying to temporarily avoid Qin Feng's edge point. That is to say, Qin Feng was worried that he would accidentally injure Qin Heoxu with his ruthless hand. Otherwise, this armored monster would have no chance to escape at all. Point at this moment, Qin Heoxu has regained consciousness after the crisis was lifted. Beast, give me death. Qin Heoxu is not just a general hate this monster thing. Even thinking about laying eggs in his own body, it is disgusting to think about. This is really Uncle can't bear. Even my aunt can't bear it. Stepping, accumulating energy, Qin Heoxu launched a violent counterattack. Qin Feng's voice sounded, using spiritual energy to lead the body to the righteousness, and do not show mercy. Yes, sect master. Qin Heo instinctively, and responded then. The spiritual energy in the body traveled very quickly, stimulating the potential in the body, releasing a tyrannical righteousness, of course. If according to the previous statement, the righteousness of this immortal cultivator is a bit similar to yang energy. For armored monsters, it is a perfect restraint. Boom. This time, Qin Heoxu avoided the amazingly defensive armor and hit the monster's snake head. Under the impact of the tyrannical force, the monster and beast died directly before it even had time to let out a scream. Point after all, Qin Heoxu is also under Qin Feng, one of the top experts among the immortal cultivators of the Qin family. He was unprepared just now and almost got hit. Now he is full of hatred and anger, and the armored monster can't bear it at all. When Qin Heoxu made his best shot, the trump card in Qin Feng's hand swept one after another. For a time, Qin Feng seemed to be holding the light of the sun and the moon in his hand. It has also reached its peak. In this case, it was impossible for the remaining few armored monsters to avoid Qin Feng's full strength attack. Bang bang bang. The muffled sound continued to stir, and this time, not only were the armored monsters dying one after another, even the armor with amazing defensive power could not withstand the majestic force of the soul-beating mace, and shattered in response. After dealing with a few armored monsters, I haven't had time to breathe a sigh of relief. In the gloomy night, suddenly there are countless scholar rays of light flashing, and the whole hostility has shown a monstrous momentum. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 237. All are not easy to use. Qin Heoxu blurted out, "What the hell is this?" Qin Feng's incomparably calm voice sounded. "That's the eyes of the armored monsters. It seems that the two of us are the dens of these monsters." After being stunned, Qin Heoxu also reacted. There is the eyes on the snake's head. No wonder it looks very scarlet. Moreover, at this moment, it is accompanied by a monstrous hostility. It was annoying enough to have these ghosts. Unexpectedly, the next moment, there were countless roars. Ow, ah, hum, ah, oh. This is not the first time Qin Heoxu has encountered this kind of roar. It can be said that he is too familiar with it. It belongs to the roar of an alien beast. Squinting his eyes, Qin Heoxu said, "Sect Master, you are right. This is not only the den of those monster armors, but there are also other alien beasts hidden here. These things are definitely not good." At the same time, the pharaohs on the periphery of the fallen land, although they could not see what was happening inside, had heard the familiar roar of alien beasts. The faces of those people changed instantly, and some were timid and even instinctively wanted to escape. The pharaoh kingdom was dominated by the fear of alien beasts. Countless people died because of it. Now that they heard the roar of alien beasts, they couldn't help but be afraid. However, after they reacted, even if there was a roar of alien beasts, the two cultivators of the Qin family were still inside, so it was definitely impossible to let those alien beasts go mad. Also, Qinzu, who was like a fairy, standing there quietly. If the beast really dares to come, it is guaranteed that there will be no return. The translator next to Qinzu, Liu Hei, looked very surprised, and said completely subconsciously, "I didn't expect that there are other alien beasts." Qinzu's voice sounded, "Then you underestimate my brother Qin Feng. I have never seen anything wrong with him." Judgment. There. is nothing against Liu He. Qinzu is telling the truth, and the stronger Qin Feng is, the luckier and more confident for Huaxia. Liu He is too happy. What will happen? Mood. Qinzu's voice was very calm. Everyone, be careful. If there are alien beasts, don't mess around. Remember, I'm here. Liu He hurriedly translated what Qinzu had just said to those in the Pharaoh Kingdom. After listening to it, many people felt relieved and said things they couldn't understand to Qinzu. Even without Liu He's translation, Qinzu could roughly guess that those good people in the Pharaoh country must be constantly expressing their gratitude. In the fallen land, Qin Feng and Qin Heoxu stood proudly, looking coldly at the monster armors around them, and more alien beasts gathered. Qin Feng said in a gentle voice, remember what I said, to deal with those monsters, you must kill them with arrogance and righteousness. As for those strange beasts, think you know how to deal with them. Nodding his head, Qin Heoxu responded solemnly, Sect Master, don't worry, it's not the first time I've participated in this kind of battle. I'll definitely be fine. Be careful. The moment Qin Feng's voice fell, those alien beasts kept roaring. The fangs that could be seen exuded a cold light, and those armored monsters were already rushing towards this side, giving the impression that they did not learn Qin Feng and Qin Heo at all. Keep an eye on it. As if afraid that two people will die in the blink of an eye. They are simply not enough. Qin Heoxu took a deep breath. Fang Shi and Huaji had been sacrificed in his hand. Qin Feng was still holding the trump card, and the two looked coldly at the approaching monsters and beasts. Kill. Qin Heo learned to roar, and went up to him without any fear. Under the darkness of the night, Fang Shi and Huaji radiated a dazzling light, and then, the majestic spiritual energy roamed in the body at a high speed, forming the circulation of the sky, and the majestic righteousness of the immortal cultivator, using Fang Shi and Huaji as the medium, instantly opened up. Those armored monsters originally regarded Qin Heoxu as the best tool to nurture the next generation, and they were all vying for it. As a result, Fang Shi and Huaji drew an arc in midair, and in the blink of an eye, he was near. Bang, click, puff, taking Horan's righteousness as the strongest ultimate move. The armored monsters could not resist one after another. Either Qin Heoxu slashed the entire head, or the armor shattered. For a while, let alone any threat, it was difficult to get close. Within 1 meter of Qin Heo's body point. As for Qin Feng, it was even more relaxed and pleasant point walking forward. It seems that the trump card in his hand is swept left and right at will point. No matter how hard the armored monsters tried, they couldn't rush past them. When they wanted to dodge Qin Feng's attack, they realized that it was too late. Puff puff. With the tyrannical force breaking out, Qin Feng's shot looked more brutal than Qin Heoxu. Those monster armors, let alone screaming, couldn't even leave a normal corpse. The body completely exploded. Those alien beasts seemed to be advancing and retreating together with the armored monsters. They roared one after another and rushed towards Qin Feng. Qin Feng, who was still walking forward, glanced coldly and exhaled. Beast, dare you? The moment the voice fell, there seemed to be countless wind blades in the night sky, condensing around Qin Feng's body in a short time. Following that, the wind blades skyrocketed and attacked in all directions. Chichichi. It seems like something has happened countless times, and history repeats itself again and again. No matter how ferocious those alien beasts looked, no matter how huge their bodies were, they had no chance to hit Qin Feng's side at all. Their bodies were in midair and burst open one after another. Qin Heoxu not only regarded this fierce battle as an experience, but also thought about being able to show it well in front of Qin Feng. When he took action, he naturally showed no mercy. Fang Shan draws a halberd, and they come and go. Whether it is a beast or a monster in armor, as long as he is hit by Fang Shi and Hua's halberd, he will die. Although I don't know how many alien beasts and armored monsters there are in front of Qin Feng and Qin Heoxu, these things are nothing at all, and it is impossible to stop the speed of the two of them. In my feeling, in less than 10 minutes before and after, the alien beasts in front of me have almost been slaughtered, and the remaining armored monsters are looking at each other, just staring at Qin Feng and Qin Heoxu from a relatively long distance, not daring to continue forward. At this moment, Qin Feng moved in his heart and blurted out, Qin Heoxu, be careful, there's poison in the air. Qin Heioxu didn't realize it at all, but after hearing Qin Feng's reminder, his expression changed slightly. He instinctively thought that these bastards were not just playing brute force poisoned. Chapter 238. There are adventures to gain. Although Qin Heioxu was surprised, after receiving Qin Feng's reminder, he was not threatened by this method. Among the Qin family, after becoming immortal cultivators, the last time will find a way to suck the fetus. As for Qin Feng, even if he doesn't breathe for a long time, there won't be any big problems. Those armored monsters rushed up at this time. It seems that the poisonous gas must be related to these armored monsters. Qin Feng has already wanted to understand in his heart. No wonder that those who came in at the beginning, no one can get out alive. Ordinary people, when faced with armored monsters, are scared to death. Even if they are really brave, they are not scared to death, and they are not scared to death by those armored monsters. When the armored monster releases its anger, there is no way for ordinary people to avoid it, unless they are wearing gas masks. But, before coming here, a few people will prepare some gas masks. Even if he was prepared, he still couldn't avoid the attack of the armored monster, and in the end it was all in vain. Now that he is here, Qin Feng has no intention of letting go of these armored monsters. He has done his job of eliminating evil. From now on, if he wants to continue to make waves in the Pharaoh country, those armored monsters will definitely not be able to do it. Qin Feng also vaguely understood one thing. These armored monsters were probably because the bodyguards who were buried with the pharaohs, or guarded the tomb after the death of the pharaohs, were only occupied by strange poisonous snakes. I have to say that these things have a long lifespan, and they are all up to now. Of course, there is also a possibility that those strange pythons have seized the bodies of other people who came to the forbidden area, and can only get to this point. These are no longer important. Qin Feng stepped forward and shot one after another. Every move seems to be very simple and unpretentious, but those armored monsters can't be avoided. Once they are hit, they will inevitably explode. Qin Heioxu followed closely and shot again and again. Those armored monsters were destroyed one by one. It is estimated that they were all depressed before they died. This is so unreasonable. Is there anyone in the world who is stronger than them? Even if you have a lot of strength, why don't you have any reaction to the poison gas? It's not too much of a joke. In dissatisfaction and anger, those monster armors were completely slaughtered. The alien beasts here are of different postures, and there are not many remaining numbers, but they did not bite the bullet and continue on. Qin Heioxu started killing here. His mood was much better. He shook his neck and said, "It's interesting, Sect Master. These alien beasts are much smarter than the alien beasts outside. At least they know that they are not our opponents." After hesitating there, they don't seem to be stunned, and they know that they will rush up and die. As if to confirm Qin Heioxu's words, the remaining beasts started to flee without looking back. Qin Feng said slowly, "Let's go. Since the shot has been made, there is no need to leave any small tails on this kind of thing. Let's send all those alien beasts on the road." In this way, the mission in the Pharaoh's country can be considered a successful completion. "Okay, Sect Master." The two talked and continued to move forward. This is to really kill those alien beasts. After walking for a while, Qin Feng was slightly surprised and blurted out, "Huh. It's interesting. Is it actually here?" Qin Heioxu's expression was a little confused, and he asked inexplicitly, "Sect Master, what do you mean by what you just said? What is here?" In the Pharaoh's kingdom, it once symbolized full power, and was a very precious Pharaoh scepter. Qin Heioxu was stunned and blurted out, "What's the use of that?" Pharaoh's scepter contains immortal gold, which can be used to make imperial soldiers for you at this stage. It is not very useful. It will be of great use in the future. After coming to Pharaoh's country, I have always wanted to use God's consciousness probe the Pharaoh scepter, and as a result, found nothing. I didn't expect that. After coming to this forbidden area, there was an unexpected harvest. Qin Heioxu didn't have any extreme emotions in his heart. On the contrary, he was quite happy for Qin Feng. Don't forget, Qin Heioxu was not stupid at all. He knew very well that only Qin Feng's strength was getting stronger and stronger. Then he and Qin, only the members of the family, can become stronger and have more opportunities to protect their own safety in the next doomsday crisis. Sect Master, do you feel exactly where the Pharaoh's scepter is? The specifics are not yet, but there is a general direction. There is indeed an evil sect here. When we were in the Fallen Land, it was very difficult to spread our spiritual consciousness. At the beginning, we were outside the Fallen Land. I'm so angry, but I've never found out what's going on inside, and it's probably because of those armored monsters and the alien beasts here. Qin nodded his head, instinctively reluctant to say Qin Feng's words. Don't worry, Sect Master, the remaining alien beasts will not be able to turn the tide, and they will be completely wiped out by us soon. Before the words were finished, a cloud of smoke billowed ahead. F***K. These beasts dare to throw themselves into the net. No wonder Qin was surprised, but he didn't expect that those alien beasts, who fled one after another not long ago, rushed towards the two of them like crazy. It's really a face for these beasts. Sect Master, leave it to me. Since these beasts dare to come back, it will save us from continuing to search. Qin Feng frowned slightly and said slowly, be careful, have you forgotten what I said? There will be demons when things are impermanent. Qin Heoxu was stunned for a while, not understanding the meaning of Qin Feng's words for a while. Qin Feng didn't hide and tuck, and already took the initiative to explain. You also said at the time that these alien beasts are not those low-end alien beasts with stupid heads and the face of the pressure brought by the two of us. The alien beasts chose to flee, but at this time, they suddenly returned. And, don't you think it's strange that you dare to rush up aggressively? Qin Feng's words have already been said so clearly. If Qin Heoxu still knows what's going on, it is almost the product of close kinship. Sect Master, I understand. These beasts dare to return aggressively. They are definitely not crazy, but they feel that, if they rely on it, there must be other more powerful beasts, or the crisis that cannot be predicted is approaching step by step. Qin Feng was still quite satisfied with Qin Heoxu's response, and said slowly, the other party wants to lie to us, so don't entangle with it, just overturn the table, kill all the remaining beasts, and see what else can come out. Chapter 239 More Than One Weird Thing. Qin Heoxu was excited by Qin Feng's words. Haha, Sect Master is right, no matter what conspiracy he is, Yang conspiracy, just lift the table. As he spoke, Qin Heoxu rushed forward, Fang Xian drew a halberd, and then he showed great strength, condensed with vast strength. It seemed that the night was divided into two, and the imposing manner was extreme. No matter how fierce the impact of those alien beasts, under the absolute strength gap, they can't stop it at all. PFFT. The strange beast that hit the front was directly split by Fang Xian Huaji, and the ink-colored blood stirred. The wind blades condensed, and then dispersed with a bang. Other alien beasts couldn't even take the opportunity to rush up to attack Qin Heoxu. Miserable roars kept coming, and the remaining beasts were about to be slaughtered by Qin Heoxu. Qin Feng didn't choose to shoot at this time. If it was just these strange beasts, Qin Heo learned to shoot alone, and it would be enough. If Qin Feng chose to step forward, it would almost be like a dimensionality reduction attack, which was meaningless at all. Just when all the alien beasts were about to be slaughtered by Qin Heoxu, a huge alien beast with a huge body, more than 10 meters in size, looked a bit like a tiger, but at this moment it jumped high and precisely avoided it. Opened the incoming Fang Xian Huaji. This is not the end. What people didn't expect is that a black figure rushed out from the side of the tiger and beast, and the speed reached its peak. Throat vitals. Facing the sudden attack, Qin Heoxu squinted his eyes and instinctively thought that, if it wasn't for the sect master Qin Feng, he had reminded himself earlier that something was wrong here. Maybe Qin Heoxu at this time would have been seriously injured by the attack. Humans tend to relax easily when they finally see that they are going to win. The alien beasts are about to be slaughtered, and I feel that the danger is about to be lifted, but I don't know that this is often the time when the biggest crisis comes. Qin Heoxu, who was prepared in advance, without any hesitation, shouted coldly, break. Fang Xian Huaji perfectly changed his move, from slashing down, to sweeping and then rising to resist. Boom. with the sword key going in a vertical and horizontal direction. After hitting the force formed around Fang Shi and Huaji, there was a strong explosion sound, or it sounded more like a dull thunder suddenly exploded at this time. Boom. Qin Heoxu's ground position collapsed due to the tyrannical force impact, which is enough to show how extraordinary this force is. At this time, Qin Heoxu was awe-inspiring. The sneak attack of the other party was much more powerful than expected. At this time, he had to sigh again. Without Qin Feng's reminder, Qin Heoxu at this time may not only be injured, but very likely, he will die. Under the sneak attack just now, break, Qin Heoxu exhaled again. Fang Shi and her halberd followed him like a shadow and rushed forward to counterattack point at the same time. Qin Heoxu could almost see clearly that there was a tall black-robed man in front of him. His entire height was estimated to be close to 2 meters. Moreover, the strength contained in his shot was extremely astonishing. The moment Qin Heoxu attacked, the man in black robe had already responded. The long sword dashed forward with lightning, without any intention of dodging at all. It's too late. It's too soon. When the long sword and Fang Shi and her halberd collided fiercely, boom, it was the second time that the ground where the two of them were located had collapsed significantly. The dust was flying, and the momentum was even more majestic to the extreme. Qin Heoxu's 2 shots before and after were intercepted by the opponent. At this time, he shot again with all his strength without any hesitation. The spiritual energy in the body has reached its limit. Horan is righteous, almost giving people a feeling that they have all rushed out of the body in a short period of time. At this time, Qin Heoxu didn't have any reservations. He didn't even think about doing any defense. He just attacked, and attacked again. At this time, the black-robed man exhaled. The voice sounded a little hoarse, but the long sword in his hand was not slow at all. The majestic momentum is no longer enough to describe. The sword energy around the long sword is so vast that for a while, the dark clouds in the sky seemed to be cut off. Dang woo. Under the full impact, a strange sound came. It was at this time that Qin Heoxu felt that the strength of the other party had more than doubled in a short period of time. To be honest, Qin Heoxu did not expect this accident at all. Moreover, Qin Heoxu's full strength shot was no longer able to have matching burst of strength. When the Fang Shi and her halberd in his hand couldn't bear it, but it didn't shatter. After all, it was also an immortal soldier built by Qin Feng and Qin Shao. To be honest, Qin Heoxu couldn't avoid it at this time. Under normal circumstances, Qin Heoxu would definitely want to die, mainly because the opponent's strength is outstanding, and he also pretended to be a pig to eat a tiger. The first 2 times he deliberately did not use all his strength, which caused a great misunderstanding to Qin Heoxu. At this time, Qin Heoxu was already instinctively strange in his heart. It's true that strange things happen every year, especially this year. How can there be such a tyrannical master? Moreover, in the past, I had never heard of it at all. If I hadn't come to Pharaoh's country, I might not have encountered it. It's not that Qin Heoxu has time to think about these strange things, but he knows very well that he will never die. At a critical moment, a humming like a dragon roar pierced through the sky. Immediately after that, in the dark night, it was like a legendary ancient dragon, piercing the sky, coming at high speed, and the sword energy spanned 30,000 miles, giving people a feeling of destroying everything. Qin Feng has already made his move, and the only one who can have this kind of power is the Imperial soldier, the long iron sword. In fact, Qin Heo dared to do his best without any reservations as soon as he learned, and he didn't even mean to defend at all, because he knew that Qin Feng was always there. With Qin Feng's strength, no matter what dangerous situation arises, he will definitely be able to take action at a critical moment and turn the tide. Without this confidence, Qin Heoxu would never be so reckless. The speed is extremely fast, and the strength is extremely powerful. In a trance, a teleportation, 2 long swords slammed together fiercely when, boom, boom, with the colliding long swords as the center, within a radius of more than 10 meters, the ground continued to collapse, which is enough to show how terrifying the strength of the 2 shots. Qin Feng stood there, motionless, and the black-robed man only stepped back half a step. His expression remained the same, but Qin Feng's heart was filled with thoughts similar to Qin Heogsu's, and things became more and more strange. When he was in the Japanese country, he met that strange black-robed man. Didn't he expect that in the Pharaoh country? The same. I met a master in black robe. Could there be an unexpected connection? Here. Chapter 240. Retire. The black-robed man couldn't see the change in the expression on his face, but after taking a half step back, he let out a strange roar, as if he had been humiliated. Die. The hoarse voice sounded, and there was a little bit of anger faintly. Lightning strikes, and the black-robed man wants to save the situation and defeat Qin Feng. He had long expected that the other party would not give up easily. Qin Feng was waiting for his shot. Stepping, accumulating energy, Qin Feng bowed slightly and followed like a ray of light, rushing towards the black-robed man. The distance between the two was not far away, but now, under the full force of the hedging, it was almost a blink of an eye. Buzz. The imperial soldiers chanted their swords, making a familiar sound of sword cries. Qin Feng's body suddenly opened, and that feeling was like the longbow being pulled to the extreme and then suddenly bursting open, and the sharp arrow was naturally the dragon yin sword that had been pierced. The black-robed man originally wanted to confront Qin Feng and turn the situation over. When he saw Qin Feng attacking with a huge force, the man knew in his heart that this was not something he could resist at all. Indecisiveness leads to disaster. Without the slightest hesitation, the black-robed man decided to step back. The overall response can already be said to be approaching its peak point. Unfortunately, the black-robed man happened to meet Qin Feng. Others are faster. Qin Feng is faster. Others are stronger. Qin Feng is stronger. Die. Qin Feng exhaled, but his voice didn't sound harsh, and the expression on his face was even indifferent. The sound of the dragon's roar cut through the sky and then attacked the heart of the black-robed man. The man in black robe used up all his strength to suckle and desperately stepped back, feeling that he had indeed escaped. The next moment, there was a sound of puff. The figure of the black-robed man was completely stiff. In the distance, the tide-like darkness came, and until this moment, the man in black robe couldn't understand it. It looked like he had escaped. After all, was it because Qin Feng was playing a trick? That's not right. I didn't find out when Qin Feng changed his moves during the whole process. Well, it seems that this is a real gap. Although he was unwilling, as his strength subsided, the black-robed man's body fell to the ground helplessly, coughing one after another. Senior Qin Heo breathed a sigh of relief, feeling that the sect master was indeed the most trustworthy person. This kind of scene that Qin Feng has experienced is so much better. It seems unbelievable to outsiders, but in Qin Feng's view, it is just normal. It really wasn't an intentional versus. Qin Feng's heart was just what he thought. I thought things had come to this point, and the dust had settled. I never thought about it, but a very strange scene happened next. The black-robed man obviously lost his breath, but his whole body was expanding and getting bigger. Bang, snort, the black robe was completely torn apart. Qin Heogsu has experienced many fights with alien beasts, and now he is well informed. However, after seeing the scene in front of him, his face is still full of shock and wonder. At that time, he looked at a man in a black robe, but at this moment, there was a huge white tiger corpse lying there. Or, it just looked like a white tiger. Qin Heogsu took a deep breath and blurted out, "It was fortunate that when we were defending the capital of China, that exploding ape and beast, before dying, once uttered human words, and at the time I thought it was incredible. I never imagined that such a ghost will appear again. Sect Master, what the hell is going on here?" Qin Feng pondered for a while and replied, "Now is not the time to talk about this. I just have a little idea. I'm not sure if it's right or wrong, and I'll talk about it when I find a suitable opportunity. It is good." Qin Heogsu nodded subconsciously, but it was very strange in his heart. Shouldn't everything be over? What is the sect master going to do? What's left around now are only the corpses of alien beasts, and of course, the incomplete parts of those ferocious monsters' armors. How can Qin Heogsu feel so good? These things are of no use to Qin Feng. Qin Feng waved his hand, moving Qin Heogsu to follow. Just now, when Qin Feng and the black-robed man, no, it should be said that the black-robed beast fought, Qin Heoxu had already taken the medicine pill, and his physique as an immortal cultivator recovered very quickly. Now, there is no problem. He followed in a dazed way. Until now, he still didn't know what Qin Feng was going to do. Walking forward, Qin Feng's voice sounded, "Don't you think it's different now?" Huh. Qin Heoxu didn't react at first, then his eyes lit up a little. The huge hostile aura has disappeared, and the range of consciousness that can be sensed is wider. Anything else? I feel like there is a strong spiritual energy in front of me. It's not bad. Your strength has been improving, which makes me very relieved. Qin Heo learned a compliment from Qin Feng and felt extremely happy. The two rushed in the direction from which the spiritual energy came, and after about 10 minutes, they saw colorful lights flashing in front of them. A little closer, Qin Heoxu's face was a little surprised. Not far in front, there was a scepter, suspended in midair, and that spiritual energy was emanating from the scepter. Don't even think about it, this is absolutely good stuff. Of course, with Qin Feng around, Qin Heoxu definitely wouldn't think about taking the scepter as his own, but just stood there respectfully. Qin Feng raised his hand, as if there was an invisible wave of absorption force, and the scepter slowly fell into Qin Feng's hand point at the same time. A familiar voice sounded in my mind. Ding. Congratulations to the host, getting the Pharaoh's scepter. Qin Feng checked it out with his divine sense, and sure enough, it contained a wealth of immortal swords, which were much higher than the grass pheasant sword. This time, it was a worthwhile trip. Okay, now, we can leave. Before Qin Feng and Qin Heoxu rushed out, Qin Zhu felt the hostility dissipate. The pretty face was full of joy, and she blurted out, "They made it." What? The translator, Liu He, didn't understand. Qin Zhu explained with a smile. The matter has been completely resolved. Oh, no wonder it's been a while, and I haven't heard the roar of any alien beast. Sure enough, if Sect Master Qin takes action, there will be no alien beast that can't be solved. After Qin Feng and Qin Heoxu came out of the so-called forbidden area, the faces of the pharaohs who had been discouraged repeatedly before, all had extremely complicated expressions on their faces. Then, when they looked at the two of them, they were all in awe. The worship of the strong is actually an instinctive existence. At this time, Qin Feng is really like a god in their eyes. Chapter 241, Confusing and Confusing. Before Qin Feng and Qin Heoxu could speak, the people from the Pharaoh Kingdom rushed over excitedly and said things they couldn't understand. Some people were so excited that they danced, of course. Some more exaggerated, they danced directly there. There was even an old man kneeling beside Qin Feng, very devoutly going to kiss Qin Feng's shoes, but Qin Feng felt awkward about this kind of thing and instinctively avoided it. The translator Liu He hurried over and said, "Excellent Sect Master Qin, your safe return is the greatest good news. We have all heard the roar of alien beasts, thanks to your persistence. Otherwise, Pharaoh's kingdom is still in danger of alien beasts at any time. They are also expressing their sincere thanks to you in their own way." Qin Feng smiled and said calmly, "I promised to relieve the crisis for them, so I naturally have to do my best. Now, everything has been resolved, and everyone can rest assured. Sect Master Qin is just not arrogant. He can find hidden alien beasts in places they think are forbidden places. They look at you now, just like looking at gods." Qin Feng didn't say anything more, but Qin Heoxu said in the interface, "Actually, the danger is more than just alien beasts. There are many evil places in the forbidden area, and there are monsters with snake heads." Hearing Qin Heoxu generally say what happened inside, the translator Liu He heard a stunned one. If he didn't know, there is absolutely no need for the immortal cultivators of the Qin family to raise their worth by lying. To doubt the authenticity of the matter, Liu He will definitely translate the whole thing to those in the Pharaoh Kingdom. Don't forget, Qin Feng and others are here to solve problems. The Pharaoh Kingdom itself has agreed to some of Huaxa's requirements. Now, why should you hide your hard work? Tuck. The people of Pharaoh were even more amazed. As for suspicion, fortunately there is none. They themselves know that the forbidden area is absolutely extraordinary. Otherwise, so many people would not have lost their lives. Moreover, now that the forbidden area is no longer a threat, they can go in and investigate at any time. There is no need to lie about Qin Feng's status because of this trivial matter. The people of the Pharaoh Kingdom once again expressed their gratitude to Qin Feng with great enthusiasm. Soon, several bigwigs from the Pharaoh Kingdom also came. After listening to the report from the people below, the eyes that looked at Qin Feng were very enthusiastic, as if they wanted to kneel down and kiss Qin Feng's feet. Of course, neither Qin Feng nor Qin Heoxu mentioned the scepter. There is nothing to be embarrassed about. If it wasn't for Qin Feng, no one would be able to get out of the forbidden area. Others could not get the scepter at all. It would be a waste to put it there. Not happy? Okay, why bother with this unnecessary trouble? The big guys who had posted it were very enthusiastic to prepare a banquet or something, but unfortunately, neither Qin Feng nor Qinzu and Qin Heoxu were interested in participating in such occasions. Now that everything has been resolved, Qin Feng felt that there was no need to stay any longer, so he politely declined. Of course, he didn't leave directly, otherwise, he would be too tired physically. I simply stayed at the place arranged by the pharaohs. Afterwards, many people came to visit, but Qin Feng never saw him again. After all, those people from the pharaohs also wanted to have a closer relationship with Qin Feng. Qin Feng is even less interested in these. Those from the Pharaoh Kingdom, although disappointed, did not dare to force Qin Feng to do anything, so they could only turn their attention to Qinzu and Qin Heoxu. The problem was that Qin Feng didn't show up, and Qinzu and Qin Heoxu were even more reluctant to show the limelight. Those from the Pharaoh Kingdom could only leave in disappointment. The next day, an afternoon flight had been arranged there, and Qin Feng and others were about to leave. When I got on the plane, I found out that, in order to express my gratitude, the Pharaoh country directly chartered a plane to let Qin Feng and other people leave. This treatment is also quite good. After leaving the territory of Pharaoh, Qinzu asked, I rested early yesterday. I forgot to ask, is that so-called forbidden area really as evil as Qin Heo's theory? Qin Heoxu responded helplessly, Sister Zhu, why do you still doubt me? I'm talking big when I'm idle. Besides, the people of the Pharaoh Kingdom must have sent personnel to investigate, otherwise, the whole process is so respectful. When looking at Brother Feng, it's more kissable than watching their father. Qinzu sighed, her face full of regret. I knew I should have followed along. It's a pity that such an exciting thing passed by. Qin Feng was closing his eyes and resting, but at this time, he finally spoke. Do you think it's exciting and fun? Don't you feel the point of the problem? What's the point? Qinzu Guan felt sorry, but he really didn't think of other problems. Qin Feng's expression became a little serious, which made Qinzu and Qin Heoxu's expressions also become serious. The two of them knew very well that at this time, Qin Feng must be serious, and it must be important. The man in black robe is not a normal person at all. After his death, he showed his original face. Have you ever thought about whether there will be other alien beasts in China, or all over the world, disguised as us? The same kind, maybe staying in an inconspicuous place around us, ready to launch a fatal blow at any time. Qinzu and Qin Heoxu's expressions changed. Thinking about that scene, they still felt annoying, not because they were afraid, but because they had to be in high concentration at all times. Over time, it would definitely become a torment. Qinzu said with some uncertainty, then, could that be just an accident? There is no universality? Qin Feng shook his head and spoke again. You two should know that I went to the Japanese country, and there, I also accidentally met a man in black robes, who looked as if he had no bones. Originally, I thought that he would be killed, but he was later given to him escaped. At that time, I felt that the man in black robe, although in human form, was not like our kind. Now, I'm almost certain that he is definitely the same as the alien beast that turned into a white tiger after death, but I don't know. What the hell is he disguised as? This time, whether it was Qinzu or Qin Heoxu, their expressions became more solemn. After the meeting, Qin Heoxu spoke first. If it's as you guessed, Brother Feng, our fairy village is okay, and it's definitely impossible for alien beasts to get in, but other people may be in danger anytime, anywhere. Chapter 242. I'll come if I want to see you. Kinzu was already very smart, but she didn't think much about it at the time. At this moment, she frowned and said, I'm afraid it's not that simple. Those alien beasts can turn into human figures, but they are just trying to sneak up on ordinary people. You know, even if they rampage at will, those ordinary people can't stop them. There may be bigger ones. Conspiracy. Qin Feng nodded, agreeing with the elder sister's statement. Looking at this matter, I also think it's very wrong. It's just that I can't infer what those beasts are trying to do. However, it's always right to remember one thing. In the future, you have to be more careful. Clear. After a while, Qin Feng spoke again. When I entered the forbidden area of Pharaoh's country, I also discovered the Pharaoh's scepter, which contained immortal gold, and also had a very powerful aura point. I was thinking that those alien beasts wanted to transform into human form, perhaps, and it is not that there is no limit either. It is to create an illusion, or it is to have aura as a medium. So, if you encounter a place with strong spiritual energy in the future, don't be blindly optimistic. Maybe it has been discovered by alien beasts long ago, and there is a huge crisis. Of course, these are my speculations, and I will wait until later to confirm slowly. Qin Feng will not hide anything from his relatives and clansmen. The matter of the Pharaoh's scepter is so easy to say. Kinzu definitely wouldn't covet the Pharaoh's scepter, but she was just curious and interested, so she specially asked Qin Feng to take a look at it. The three of them discussed for a long time on the plane, and then they began to rest. By the time Huaxia arrived, it was almost night. The translator, Liu He, specially arranged for the three of them to have dinner before sending a car to escort Qin Feng and others back, but Qin Feng refused. Now that I'm back in Huaxia, I can't use the translation for the time being. As for dispatching a car, I don't even need it. This is Los Angeles, and we are very familiar with it. Just go back by yourself. Although Liu He has not been in contact with Qin Feng for a long time, he also knows that once Qin Feng makes a decision, he will not change it easily, and he will not insist on it any longer. The three of them didn't bother to find a car anymore. After hearing that Qin Feng came back, the clansmen rushed over, but there was nothing wrong. They just felt that, after taking a look at Qin Feng and making sure that the sect master had returned, everyone's hearts would be more stable and calm. Of course, the clansmen didn't stay long, knowing that Qin Feng needed a rest, and soon they dispersed. After Qin Feng returned to the room, he checked the Pharaoh's scepter and the grass pheasant sword again, thinking to find a suitable time or to retreat once and constantly improve the Emperor's dragon sword point. The main reason is that there are more and more bizarre things, and the system also said at the beginning that it is estimated that it will not take too long for the two worlds to merge together. At that time, what kind of crisis will there be? Not sure. We must improve our strength and improve the Imperial soldiers as much as possible. What makes Qin Feng a little distressed is that he seems to have entered a bottleneck now. After proving the Tao and becoming an emperor, he does not know whether there will be a high level later. Although the spiritual energy in the body continues to grow, it has not broken through sign point. Could it be that this has reached its peak? Probably not. According to the system's original prompt, when the end of the world is really coming, all races of monsters begin to invade, and there must be more powerful alien beasts appearing. With the current strength, it may not be able to fully cope with it. Don't be too anxious about this kind of thing. Sometimes, when you encounter a bottleneck, you need to maintain a peaceful mind. Maybe one day, there will be an unexpected joy point in the middle of the night. Qin Feng closed his eyes and rested. I never thought that at this time. I felt a familiar atmosphere from far to near. Qin Feng was slightly surprised. After thinking about it, he walked out of the door first and stood there casually, as if in a blink of an eye. He was perfectly integrated with the night. After a while, a slender figure hurried over the moonlight. Can see clearly. The face is extremely delicate, especially the dusty temperament. People subconsciously think that it is a fairy descending to the world, and the occasional amorous feelings are a bit charming. Any man who sees it will endure it. Can't stop beating. Can have this temperament, and, under the night, into Cow Village arbitrarily. No one cares, except for Yan Ziao. There is no one else. Why are you here suddenly, Yan? Xiao was still in a hurry when she suddenly heard Qin Feng's familiar voice. Her pretty face was full of surprises. She looked up subconsciously and smiled sweetly. At this moment, it seemed that all the surrounding scenery was eclipsed. You haven't rested yet? Not yet. You also know that in my current situation, there is not much difference between resting and not resting. You came so late. What's the urgency? Why didn't you make a phone call in advance, Yan? Xiao pondered for a while, then smiled. It's not a big deal. I just saw the news of your return to China on the internet. However, when I found out, it was a little late. After thinking about it, I'd still come over to see you. Although, I didn't say it very directly, the meaning was basically obvious. I just missed you, so I came here, no matter how late it was. Qin Feng is not a fool, and, even if his reaction is not sensitive, he can still feel the deep meaning in Haoan Xiao's words. He smiled and looked particularly handsome and elegant under the gloomy moonlight at night. It's time to call ahead. If I leave suddenly, why don't you come here in vain? Ah, that's right. It's alright, I haven't seen it anyway. When she spoke, Yan Xiao's pretty face was always smiling, looking particularly charming and lovely. In fact, after hearing the news of Qin Feng's return, Yan Xiao didn't think much about other things, and hurried over subconsciously. Aren't you going to work tomorrow? Oh, I just came to see you. I'll rush over in a while. There's still something going on in the crew tomorrow. Qin Feng felt a little moved in his heart. This silly girl came here in the middle of the night, and has to rush back, just to meet. Are you stupid? After pondering, Qin Feng said with a smile, anyway, I'm not in a hurry. I just happened to be walking together. I remember when I came back today, Qin Wen said that the Shilly Peach Blossom Forest is blooming again. Are you interested in seeing it? Yan Xiao's beautiful eyes flickered with light. She tilted her head slightly and blurted out, of course it's fine. To be honest, in the heart of the little girl, she wished she could stay with Qin Feng a little longer, so she would stay a little longer. The two walked side by side, walking towards the Shilly Peach Blossom Forest under the darkness of the night. At the same time, in the dark, there was a pair of eyes watching the two of them secretly, their expressions unpredictable. Chapter 243 The Moon in the Water. Is the moon in the sky? Qin Feng and Yan Xiao walked side by side to Shilly Peach Blossom Forest Point. When Yan Xiao wasn't paying attention, he glanced at the left back, and then waved his hand to signal not to follow. Qinzu, who was originally observing in the dark, waited for a while before he reluctantly appeared, tilted his head, and said to himself, I thought I hadn't found me, but I've been discovered long ago. With Qin Feng's strength and strong consciousness, as long as he is willing, the entire Dukao village will not be able to hide from him, not to mention Qinzu's little peeping thought. After thinking about it for a while, Qinzu couldn't help being curious, and followed up secretly again, mainly worried about her brother. Everything is fine, but he is not very enlightened on emotional issues. Yan Xiao is a beautiful and kind person. Live, then you can't be alone. Qin Feng and Yan Xiao had already arrived at Shilly Peach Blossom Forest in Dukao Village Point. It's a little cold in the spring. It's not a big problem. With the current strength of the two, even in winter, they will feel warm all over their bodies. Under the moonlight, the peach blossoms are in full bloom, and the scenery is naturally beautiful. Point with a smile on the corner of Yan Xiao's mouth, she stretched out her hand to hold a falling peach blossom. At that moment, it was as if she was a fairy elf, falling into the world by mistake. Qin Feng asked casually, how are you recently? It's good. I like filming myself, and the script this time is very good. Oh, alright, Yan. Xiao still tilted her head slightly, and asked with a smile, I read a lot of news on the internet. You recently went to the Japanese country, and you also went to the Pharaoh country. Everything went well, right? Fortunately, everything is going well. I think it should be the same. According to rumors, the daughter of the Japanese Sinyuan group praised you a lot. When I was interviewed, I mentioned you several times, and thanked you every time. She is a great beauty. Qin Feng pondered slightly, and said, oh, you're talking about Miu Sanada from the Japanese country. Yes, it's her. It seems that you have a deep impression on her too. It doesn't count. When I went to the Japanese country, there was an intersection. Specifically, I didn't have a deep impression. Qin Feng was just telling the truth, but Yan Xiao pursed her lips slightly and looked happy. She felt that Qin Feng was explaining it to her on purpose. This shows that Qin Feng still cares about himself. The two were talking and arrived at a river next to the peach blossom forest. Because of the strong spiritual energy here, in early spring, there are many flowers in full bloom, and the scenery is particularly sultry. Under the night, the moon is reflected in the water, which is more like putting a mysterious coat on the surrounding scenery. Yan Xiao stopped here and looked at the surrounding scenery. Qin Feng didn't know what to say. For a while, there was a little silence between the two. After a while, Yan Xiao sighed softly. Qin Feng asked in confusion, "What's wrong?" "It's not a big deal. It's just that I suddenly remembered a sentence, which is somewhat sad. Can you tell me what you remember?" "The moon in the water is the moon in the sky." Qin Feng reacted for a while, but did not want to understand what is wrong with this sentence. As for making Yan Xiao a little sad, no answer at this time. Qinzu, who had been following in the dark, couldn't take it anymore. In the dark of the night, she stood up without disturbing Yan Xiao. However, Qin Feng clearly felt it and glanced here. Qinzu was very anxious to clean up the gesture. With her hands on her heart, she gestured with a heart. Qin Feng's expression was a little dazed. "What's the matter, old lady? Is it blowing in there at night?" If Qinzu knew that Qin Feng wanted to lose weight now, she probably would have the urge to hit someone. Qinzu understood very well. The moon in the water is the moon in the sky, and the person in front of him is the sweetheart. Qin Feng was a teacher before, but as a result, he didn't even understand what he said, or did he just pretend he didn't understand? After gesturing for a long time, Qin Feng still didn't understand. Qinzu couldn't take it anymore, and finally pulled her ears with both hands, and stuck out her tongue, looking like she hated Un. Qin Feng is even more confused. What is the old lady doing? Yan Xiao didn't notice the little actions of the sister and brother. After walking along the river for a while, Yan Xiao said, "It's getting late. You should also go to a rest meeting. As long as you come back, there are still many things waiting for you tomorrow." "It's not a big problem. It's not a big problem for me to rest or not to rest now. I promised the crew I have to rush back later." "Oh, then I'll send it to you." While the two were talking, Qin Feng sent Yan Xiao to the village, in trance all the way. "If I have nothing else to do, I'll go first." When Yan Xiao spoke, there was a faint expectation in her beautiful eyes. Qin Feng mainly didn't understand what the little girl was expecting, just nodded. "Be careful on the road." "Okay, got it." Yan Xiao was a little disappointed and helpless. She thought that there would be a parting hug or something, but she was looking forward to it for a long time in vain. Just as he was about to leave, Qin Feng spoke up. "Right, wait a moment." Yan Xiao turned around in surprise, tilted her head slightly, and said in a beautiful and glamorous manner, "What's the matter? Do you have something to tell me?" "In a few days, some unexpected things may happen. When the time comes, I will call you in advance. For safety's sake, I suggest you come to Dukao village. If your family has the right time, you are willing to. If so, we can come together when the time comes." Yan Xiao was startled, feeling that Qin Feng's words contained a lot of information. Although he didn't say it directly, he must have sensed danger for a period of time in the future, so he would have this suggestion. However, what makes Yan Xiao happy is that Qin Feng not only reminded himself in advance, but also promised to let his family members want to also come together. In any case, this level of concern should have exceeded the scope of ordinary friends, right? Yan Xiao, who was happy in her heart, nodded and agreed immediately. "Okay, you can call me at any time when the time comes. Is there anything else?" Qin Feng pondered for a while, then shook his head. "This time it's really gone. Pay more attention to safety on the road." "Oh, then you rest early." Yan Xiao, who tilted her head slightly, waved her hand. Her smile looked particularly clean and charming, and then turned to leave. Qin Feng stood there, watching Yan Xiao drift away. Taking a breath, Qin Feng turned around, and was about to go back to rest. He never thought that when he saw his sister Qinzu, she was walking towards this place angrily. Even walking seemed to bring a gust of wind. Judging from my childhood experience, this is definitely not a good comer. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 244, Absolute Note to Orphans. Qin Feng looked at Kinzu a little puzzled, and first asked, "Who provoked you? Why are you so bitter and hated? You're too embarrassed to ask? I thought you weren't stupid before, so did you do it on purpose? What you said was intentional. I didn't understand." Qin Feng spread his hands, looking helpless. Kinzu said angrily, "You don't play tricks with me, no matter how slow your reaction is, but you don't understand what those gestures I made mean." "Oh, you said this. I understand what you mean." "Understood? Then tell me, what did I remind you of?" Kinzu was dubious. Qin Feng said confidently and calmly, "You first made a gesture in front of your heart, and then made a pig's head. Are you telling me that pigs are cute too, Qin?" Zhu almost spat out a mouthful of old blood. "You can pull it down. You are stupider than a pig. It seems that I really think highly of you. Pigs are cute. Believe it or not, I will slap you with a big ear under the sun who dares to talk to Qin Feng like this." It is estimated that Kinzu is the only one left, even if it is apparent, because of Qin Feng's current identity. When he talks, he is relatively more gentle and tactful. You must know that Kinzu is not just talking, she may actually do it. Qin Feng's mind can't help but think of the fear of being dominated as a child. The world is so beautiful, but you are so irritable. It's not good. You have to be calm and understand. I didn't do anything to anger people. Are you so excited? Is it possible that I understood wrong? You misunderstood that. It's simply wrong. What Joao said, the moon in the water, is the moon in the sky, and you didn't say it at all. Qin Feng saw her sister's irritable appearance, carefully recalled the scene at that time, and said carefully, "Me, what do I mean? Didn't she just say the moon is pretty?" The expression on her face was unpredictable. Kinzu really wanted to break the defense. "Okay." After a while, she helplessly covered her forehead. Qin Feng, I really do have you. If I didn't know that you are the biological child of our parents, and that I'm so smart and beautiful, I would have suspected that you are the product of a close relative. Sister, what you said is going too far. Complimenting yourself so blatantly and belittling me has no lower limit. I'm your own younger brother." Qin Feng was somewhat unhappy, feeling that what the elder sister said was also true. "Too bad. You're stupid. Aren't you happy? You used to be a teacher, and you definitely misunderstood your children. I know that the moon in the water is the moon in the sky, and the person in front of you is the sweetheart. The hint from Joao is so obvious. Come on, you are good. I was thinking that pigs are cute too, right? Are you thinking too much? Yan Xiao doesn't mean that. Hurry up and get out. Looking at you like this, you're just going to be mad at me. It's useless to understand what you've told you. You don't be a teacher anymore. It's quite correct." Qin Feng couldn't help but muttered, "What happened to me when I used to be a teacher? What's wrong with you? Besides, being a teacher doesn't have to teach students to fall in love. I understand why so much. Besides, what you said might not be right." Yan Xiao. Before he could finish speaking, Kinzu interrupted him. "Hurry up and disappear from my eyes, otherwise I really have to try. Can I blow your skull with a punch?" Kinzu seems to be completely desperate for Qin Feng and doesn't want to listen to Qin Feng's nonsense there anymore. Qin Feng knows Kinzu too well. It seems that there is a real possibility of attacking him. A hero doesn't suffer immediate losses. It's better to disappear quickly. Soon, Qin Feng disappeared into the vast darkness like a gust of wind. Kinzu sighed helplessly, looked at the full moon in the sky, and commented through gritted teeth, "There's no way to save it. If such a person is not a single dog, he will be sorry for his brain." Qin Feng had already returned to the room at this time. He didn't care too much because of what the old sister said. To be honest, he could feel that Yan Xiao was not the same to him. However, things are too complicated now, and no one knows the next step. There will be no greater crisis. Since the awakening of the system, Qin Feng has been very clear that in the face of the end of the world and the invasion of all ethnic groups, his responsibility is heavier than that of others. Before things are resolved perfectly, what kind of love is long? Qin Feng really didn't want to get involved. Soon, the spiritual energy in the body circulated around the sky. Qin Feng entered a state of forgetting things and die, which was not only a kind of rest, but also a kind of cultivation point. On the second day, Qin Feng was casually walking around Dukao village, but Qin Wen hurried over there. Brother Feng, you gave me a good meal, so it's here. What happened? Qin Wen quickly waved his hand. It's not a big deal, but it's Wu Hua who is here. I want to see you, if it's convenient for you. Let's talk about something. Wu Hua has never only represented himself, but a real official. Maybe before he came, he had communicated with some big bosses in Huaxia. If he didn't see him, it would be too shameful. Qin Feng said slowly, come on, where is Mr. Wu? Take me to see him. Okay, he's in the living room. Brother Feng, I'll accompany you there. After Qin Feng arrived, Wu Hua didn't hesitate, didn't take any pretense, stood up quickly, hurried over to greet him, and even said with a smile, Sect Master Qin, long time no see, your style is better than ever, Mr. Wu. The two of us are old acquaintances. There is no need to say such polite words. What kind of polite words? I'm telling the truth. Sect Master Qin, you went to the Japanese country and the Pharaoh country before and after. In addition, our Qin family cultivators also went to other countries to help eliminate alien beasts. All things, everything has been done beautifully. We have received countless thanks from various countries. From a small point of view, you are bringing glory to our China, and in a large scale, you are for the whole world and all mankind. Made a huge contribution. What Wu Hua said sounds a little exaggerated, but if you really want to think about it, it's not an exaggeration. After all, if it weren't for Qin Feng, there would be no immortal cultivators from the Qin family. Then, how many times did you go? This country is still subject to the ravages of alien beasts, and I don't know how many people will be killed. However, in Qin Feng's view, these are not really big issues. He just smiled and said slowly, Mr. Wu, you don't go to the Three Treasures Hall for everything. You must have something important to do here, right? You know me too. If you have anything, just say it. I don't like to hide and play dumb riddles there. Chapter 245. Always come. Wu Hua laughed. In the past, he was really not used to Qin Feng's communication method. However, after contacting him a few times, he also understood that Qin Feng himself is a fast talker, and he didn't care, and simply said, Sect Master Qin, there are indeed two things that I would like to discuss with you. Well, I'm listening. Go ahead. 1. It's half of what I said just now, because you, as well as the immortal cultivators of the Qin family, have shown their skills in several other countries, and caused huge repercussions all over the world. Now, there are many differences. As for the place of the beast, we have communicated with us and asked for help. Qin Feng snorted and nodded. This question is simple. Since we have already agreed, we need help. We are naturally bound to do so. When the time comes, you will be in charge of communication. Just like last time, once the arrangements are made, I will send the Qin family to solve the problem. Although, Wu Hua had long thought of this result, but now that Qin Feng confirmed it in person, he couldn't help but feel a little excited. Thank you very much. With these actions, we Huaxia have different influences in the world. I'm very grateful to you and the Qin family for these contributions. You're welcome, but it's a matter of duty. And the second question, Wu Hua's face became a little serious and explained slowly, this second thing is a bit strange to say. In the recent period of time, in various regions of China, there have been many malicious problems that hurt people and even caused people's death, and people have been sent to investigate, but there has been no news. Master Wu Hua Long also went to see it. He judged that there may be a problem with this matter, but it has not been clear until now. If it is convenient for the immortal practitioners of the Qin family, I hope to help investigate related matters. After Qin Feng listened, he nodded. Oh, I will definitely send someone to investigate this matter. Wu Hua couldn't help being stunned. He didn't expect Qin Feng to talk too well. Thank you. Thank you very much. You really don't have to be so polite. My Qin family will not sit back and ignore the invasion of alien beasts in other places. This itself happened in Huaxia, and I believe in the judgment of Mr. Wu Hua Long Point. If he thinks there is a problem, if it is necessary for my Qin family to intervene in the investigation, it is obligatory. With your words, I'm relieved. Qin Wen has by Qin Feng's side all the time. At this time, he opened his mouth and said, Brother Feng, leave this matter to me. When the time comes, I will definitely check it out. After thinking about it, Qin Feng said, go and call Qin Haoxu, Qin Yu and Qin Xiaoya. Brother, do you need to call someone else? I'm enough alone. You can go as far as you want. There's so much nonsense. At most Qin Wen dared to argue one more sentence. Qin Feng was speaking very seriously in front of him, and he didn't dare to say anything more at the moment. He turned around and went out to find someone. Soon, Qin Haoxu and others were called. Qin Feng didn't hide it. He talked about the conversation with Wu Hua just now in general, and didn't explain it in detail. The main thing was that he knew Qin Wen too well. As for his big mouth, he must have said everything just now on the road. Sure enough, after Qin Haoxu and the others listened, their faces were very calm, and they didn't show too much surprise. Obviously they had heard of it before. I called you here because I plan to send a few of you to assist the relevant personnel and conduct an investigation. Is there any problem, Sect Master? No problem. Several people responded in unison, and Qin Wen was anxious. Brother Feng, no, Sect Master, and me. Qin Haoxu opened his mouth and said, Sect Master, since you think things are not easy, then one more person means more strength. Why don't you let Qin Wen go too? Qin Feng smiled and said, okay, Qin Wen, now I've learned to warn others in advance, so that they can plead and say good things to you? No, Sect Master, it must be Qin Haoxu who thinks I'm suitable, and will let me go with you. Just promise. I promise to obey the command, and not act impulsive. Remember your promise just now. Then let's go together. Haha, thank you Sovereign. Thank you my dear brother Feng. You are too wise and martial. Okay, don't be blatantly flattering you. Then, don't make trouble. After things were arranged, Wu Hua didn't dare to disturb Qin Feng, so he left. Of course, Qin Haoxu and others also followed, and left the village. Qin Feng specially instructed Qin Xiaoya that as a girl, you should be more careful and inquire more carefully. If you encounter a dangerous situation, don't be impulsive. Just contact Qin Feng at any time. Qin Xiaoya had the experience of defending the capital last time and knew that if some things were forcibly acted, there would be big problems. Now she naturally nodded and agreed, and repeatedly assured Qin Feng that she would never be impulsive. Once a problem is found, it will communicate with Qin Feng as soon as possible. Qin Feng returned to the room and planned to close his eyes to rest his mind. At this time, without warning, a familiar system voice sounded in his mind. Ding. 3 days later, it will be the final fusion time. Please prepare the host in advance to deal with all possible emergencies. Suddenly opened his eyes. There was a flash of light. Sure enough, what should come is still coming. The system, the fusion of the other world in the real world. What specific changes will occur, or what specific dangers will there be? After asking, Qin Feng deliberately waited for a while, but there was no response from the system. System, are you asleep? Wake up, get up. Did you hear me? System, well, there is still no response from there. Qin Feng is helpless. There is no way. This system is so annoying sometimes. Very arrogant. If he doesn't care, he starts to ignore it. There is also a great possibility. Perhaps, the system cannot completely determine what will happen at that time. Otherwise, it will not say that Qin Feng should be prepared to deal with all possible emergencies. Qin Feng thought for a moment, and his expression became very calm. There is no need to be anxious. In the final analysis, no matter what happens, it will only be blocked by soldiers in the future, and covered by water. Of course, what should be notified is still to be notified. Qin Feng soon passed the news to the immortal cultivators in each family through several elders and guardians of the sect. Regarding Qin Feng's words, in the Qin family, there will be no doubts at all. Of course, there will be some anxiety, but it can't be said to be anxious. No matter what strange things happen, we can deal with it. The 3 days will actually pass quickly. Many of the Qin family are looking forward to the so-called fusion coming soon, so they can feel what different things will happen. Chapter 246. In what capacity? Qin Feng said that things in Dukao village were quickly arranged, and there was nothing wrong with the clansmen thinking that way. No matter what happens at that time, Qin Feng will definitely do his best to ensure the safety of the people around him. After thinking about it, Qin Feng still called Yan Xiao, but there was no answer. It was estimated that he was busy, so Qin Feng simply sent a message and asked Yan Xiao to call when he was free. As a result, within 10 minutes, the phone rang, and at first glance, it was Yan Xiao who called back. Sorry, I had something to do just now. I didn't receive your call. I'm really sorry. I already knew I had my phone with me. Yan Xiao's words revealed self-blame. Qin Feng smiled and comforted. It's just a phone call. There's no need to apologize or anything. Are you done with your work now? Can you talk easily? Convenient. Do you have anything to do with me? Remember what I said to you that day when you came to Dukao village? I suggest that you come to Dukao village in 2 days. If your family is suitable, you can pass it together. Yan Xiao's voice was uniquely sweet, but at this moment, it became a little more serious. Can I ask, is there any danger? Of course, it's like this. Qin Feng didn't hide it and told Yan Xiao about the whole thing. Of course, it's hard to say what will happen after the two worlds merge. It's still for the sake of preventing problems. I understand. Thank you. I will definitely go there when the time comes. But on the side of my family, I have to ask their opinions for details. Well, it should be. After Qin Feng hung up the phone, he didn't think much about it and then went to check the situation in various places in Dukao village with peace of mind, especially the defensive barrier. If there is any specific danger, the first one to face the crisis must be the 1-point formation. This must not be sloppy point. I didn't think about it, but after a while, Qin Feng's phone rang again, and when he glanced at it, it was still Yan Xiao. It's me, Qin Feng. I have communicated with my family, but I have a question that I need to tell you. My mother asked me what identity I would like to go there, otherwise, it will cause you trouble for nothing inappropriate. At that time, I was also unable to do anything when asked, so I said casually, yes, I went there as your girlfriend. If you do this, my parents and other family and friends will go there, and it won't be too big. I didn't have time to tell you in advance. I'm sorry. Qin Feng fell silent, mainly because he didn't expect such a thing to happen. Yan Xiao was already worried over there. Hearing that Qin Feng did not respond, his expression became a little sad, and he said, sorry for causing you trouble, and I shouldn't be in charge of myself. Just say that, so I'll call my mother now, and explain things clearly, so I won't cause you any trouble. Qin Feng's voice sounded at this time. What to explain? No need. I thought about it just now. It's no big deal to come here in this capacity. Like you said, they will feel restrained and uneasy. It's okay. That's it. Yan Xiao, whose expression was still very dim just now, instantly became radiant and beautiful. Thank you. Thank you very much. You're welcome. When you are about to arrive, tell me in advance that I will find someone to arrange a place to live. Oh, I see. After hanging up the phone, Qin Feng shrugged and didn't care much. In the end, he and Yan Xiao had also experienced life and death together. It was definitely different than a normal friendship, and Qin Feng didn't hate Yan Xiao either otherwise. Last time Yan Xiao took the ring sent by Qin Feng for an interview, so that many people on the internet almost acquiesce in the relationship between two people as boyfriend and girlfriend, and Qin Feng has never clarified anything on the internet. Sometimes, things between two people seem to be separated by a layer of window paper, which will be pierced sooner or later. In the afternoon, Qin Feng called Wu Hua. A strange voice came from over there. Hello, it's Sect Master Qin. Right, wait a moment, the leader is in a meeting. I'll send my phone over now. Obviously, the other party was someone like Secretary Wu Hua, and the tone and attitude of his speech were very respectfully. Qin Feng responded casually, "Don't be so troublesome, just wait for Mr. Wu to finish the meeting." Sect Master Qin, you don't need to hang up the phone. The leader has explained that no matter what meeting he has, or what he is doing, as long as it is a call from you, he must be notified as soon as possible that I have arrived in the conference room. It can be heard from the phone that the other party almost ran all the way to the conference room point soon. Woohoo's voice came from there. "The meeting is on hold. I'll take a call." Those who participated in the meeting looked at each other and could see surprise in the eyes of the other party. You must know that when Woohoo was in a meeting, the most annoying thing was being interrupted by the phone. Soon, someone reacted and whispered, "I remember our leadership, but we have been in charge of communicating with Sect Master Qin Feng on issues related to docking." Hearing this, everyone immediately had a clear look on their faces. It is possible that the call was from Qin Feng. Otherwise, ordinary people would never have that face. Woohoo was not only not angry, but also respectful. Can't even think about it. Woohoo is still apologizing to Qin Feng. "I'm really sorry Sect Master Qin. I had something to do just now, and I almost didn't receive your call." "It's not a problem, and I'm not too anxious. As long as it's about you, it's urgent and important for me." Sect Master Qin, if you have any questions, just say it directly. I'm listening. Woohoo's attitude is definitely not good. "That's it. I thought about it, and I have to tell you that after 3 days, the two worlds will merge, and then something will definitely happen." Qin Feng told Woohoo what happened next. The more Woohoo listened, the more solemn the expression on his face became. "Sect Master Qin, it's not that I'm disrespectful to you, or I deliberately find fault with you, but the consequences of this incident, and the subsequent impact, are not ordinary. I want to know what happened to what you said happened. How big is the probability, so that our various departments in Huaxia can be prepared, and take corresponding preventive measures in advance?" Qin Feng pondered and said slowly, "It's not a matter of probability, but it will definitely happen. If it has to be a probability, it is 100%. It should come, and it will never be avoided." Chapter 247. The style of painting is a bit off track. If someone else said that, Woohoo would basically sneer, and he would probably educate him severely. The problem is that Qin Feng is speaking, so the concept is completely different. Woohoo's face became very solemn. "Sect Master Qin, I understand. I will report this matter to the top immediately, but how will I deal with it in the end? I can't be the master right now. Before that, can you give me some advice on how to deal with it?" Qin Feng thought for a moment and said slowly, "According to my prediction, there will be an alien phase that day, but it will not cause any major crisis, because not only do we need a buffer after the fusion of the alien world, we also need a buffer time. Normally, if people should pay more attention and be more careful, it won't be a big problem. Of course, if there are other unexpected situations, they need to be dealt with in a timely manner." Woo breathed a sigh of relief. "With your words, I can rest assured. You don't have to worry. I will definitely pass your opinion on to the above. If there is no accident, I should respond according to what you said. Okay, let's make arrangements." After hanging up the phone, Woohoo calmed down. Back to the meeting room first. Something happens. Today's meeting will be here temporarily. When the meeting will be held later, I will arrange for someone to notify in advance. Everyone should leave first, although the others didn't say anything. On the way out of the conference room, they all started talking, and they all felt that something must have happened. Otherwise, this meeting could not have been interrupted like this. According to the speculation at the beginning, the phone call belongs to Qin Feng, and the whole thing may be more serious. Of course, everyone can't think of the fusion of the two worlds, and they are basically wondering if there is another alien invasion. However, after searching for the latest news on the internet, there was no mention of where the alien beast appeared, which made everyone very at a loss. It didn't take long for him to be confused. The next day, news came out, and it was confirmed by the relevant departments. 2 days later, the phenomenon of the fusion of the two worlds will occur. At that time, there may be all kinds of dissimilarities. You don't have to panic too much. There should be no substantial danger in this fusion. Of course, things on the day of the incident. If there are no special circumstances, everyone should not go out easily, stay at home, and respond to changes without changing. Many people responded that this is absolutely nonsense. Later, after being confirmed by relevant departments, many people began to believe that, although they had called for not to panic, many people still became uneasy. Of course, there are some twists and turns, and until now, I still think it's nonsense. For so many years, this kind of thing has never happened. How could it be true? Until an explosive news was pushed to the top of the hot search point. The news that the other world is going to merge with the real world was confirmed by Qin Feng. You must know that Qin Feng is completely immortal in the eyes of other people. Until now, no one has any doubts. It is almost certain that in 2 days, all kinds of strange things will definitely happen. After the news spread, Yan Xiao had already brought her family to Dukao village. Mainly, Yan Xiao was not busy in the past 2 days. Moreover, after hearing Yan Xiao said that Qin Feng and Qin Feng were boyfriend and girlfriend, the family wanted to meet the legendary Qin Feng as soon as possible. Although in the past, I have seen Qin Feng's photos and videos on the internet and other channels, no matter what, I did not see it with my own eyes. Yan Xiao called in advance. Originally, Qin Feng wanted to arrange for other clansmen to receive him. After thinking about it, it seemed very inappropriate. After all, according to Yan Xiao, the relationship between the two people is different now. If Qin Feng wasn't in Dukao village, then it's okay to say, since Qin Feng is there, if he doesn't show up, the concept will be very different. I simply called my old sister Kinzu and waited outside Dukao village in advance according to the agreed time. Kinzu asked curiously, "What are you doing? Is there any important person coming to Dukao village?" "Yao is coming." "Oh, if you still have a conscience, you know that you should notify Yao in advance and let her come to our village. After all, it is a strange thing like the fusion of two worlds. Although there may not be any major crisis immediately, but in advance it's also good to take some precautions." "Huh? That's not right." Kinzu's face was a little puzzled as she spoke. "If Yao comes, you can just wait here. Why are you pulling me?" Qin Feng said in response. "Yao's family and a few close friends will also come." "That's right. It doesn't feel right, and it doesn't reach the point where you want me to receive it." Qin Feng thought about it, but he couldn't hide it sooner or later, so he simply said it directly. Yao was worried that her parents would be restrained when they came, so she told a white lie that we were boyfriend and girlfriend. Kinzu was stunned when she heard it, and for a moment, she almost uttered foul language. "You tiger, this kind of thing can lie? What kind of white lie is this? I think you are a dead duck with a tough mouth, and you clearly like Yao in your heart. Otherwise, you will definitely not agree to this kind of thing. Pretend you don't care." Qin Feng sighed and did not refute the old sister, but said a little puzzled, "Why are you going? How did you hear about this? Why are you running away? Don't wait here with me." Kinzu was walking back in a hurry when she heard Qin Feng's words. She glared angrily. "It's like your brain is flooded. Could it be that I have to follow your brain? Yao's parents and family members are here, and my reception is not enough. I will inform my parents now. I'll go. Let's not let my parents know what to do." Kinzu didn't listen to Qin Feng's words at all. She was almost gone, and she scolded, "Hurry up and shut up, the seeded players with water in their brains. If my parents know that I won't tell them, then not only will I break your dog's legs, I will definitely suffer. Do you think I'm a fool?" Kinzu hurried over there to inform his parents that they were coming together. Qin Feng stood there, a little helpless, and at the same time, he felt that something was wrong. As a result, the parents and sister Kinzu hurried over before they could figure it out. Before it was near, my mother Wuza who scolded it first. "You little b*******d. You want to go to the sky. Why don't you say such an important thing in advance? Fortunately, your dad and I came in time, otherwise, it would be too rude. Fortunately, we arrived ahead of time." Qin Hanbo, Qin Feng's father, has not reprimanded very much and is rarely dissatisfied. "This thing, what you did is really unreliable. You should have told us earlier. If this happens next time, your mother will really break your dog's legs. Qin Feng is completely helpless. Why does it feel like it's really like the parents of both parties want to meet? Chapter 248. Or the old saying is right. Qin Feng's family of four were talking here when they saw several luxury cars, together with RV, driving towards Dukao village. Qinzu has sharp eyes and said, okay, don't talk about those useless things. People are coming. Hurry up to meet them. Qin Feng's parents quickly adjusted their clothes and went up to them. Sure enough, it was Yan Xiao and her family who came. Yan Xiao, with picturesque eyes and bright and charming eyes, was with a middle-aged couple, and without thinking about it, they must be Yan Xiao's parents at this time. After Yan Xiao's parents got out of the car, their eyes almost never left Qin Feng. In their impression, no matter how famous and important Qin Feng is in China, but, after all, it is their daughter's boyfriend. Point in the past, I only learned about it through pictures and videos on the internet. Now, it can be regarded as a big living person, so I can take a good look at it. Yan Xiao was a little flattered when she saw Qin Feng's parents coming up to her. Uncle Qin, Aunt Wu, why are you waiting here? What a shame. Wu Zhu smiled happily and hurriedly said, Yao, look at what you said. We should wait here, isn't it? This is your parents. It's the first time we meet. Please introduce us. After all, the immortal cultivators of the Qin family, and now the whole of China, are like gods. Yan Xiao's parents didn't take any pretense. Another reason is that they have also received higher education, and they are not the kind of existence that cares about others. Soon, through Yan Xiao's introduction, the two sides got to know each other. Yan Wengang was Yan Xiao's father, and he looked at Qin Feng and waved. You are Qin Feng. I've heard about the foreign beasts you faced a few times before, and I've seen them on the internet. With the body of Immortal, you have done a good job of defending your family and the country. I'm embarrassed for what Uncle Yan said. It's all things that should be done. Yan Xiao's mother, Liu, spoke in a gentle voice. I often hear Yao mention you. Also, when you face danger in the future, you should pay more attention to your own safety. You must be careful. I see. Aunt Liu. Qin Hangbo said hello at this time. Everyone, stop talking outside. Go in and sit down and drink tea together. Yan Xiao's other family members and relatives got off the bus one after another. Overall, there were not too many people, no more than 20 people. Don't forget that the tourism development of Dukao village has been very popular for a period of time. There is no problem in receiving these people. Everyone was talking and walked all the way to Dukao village. Because of the power barrier arranged by Qin Feng, there is spiritual energy lingering in Dukao village all the year round. The surrounding scenery is more beautiful than other places, and there is a bit of a fairyland-like feeling in the faint. Many people in the Yan family exaggerated the surrounding scenery, and after arriving here, the instinct in their hearts will be much more stable. Dukao village must be absolutely safe. Now, the safest place in the whole of China, and even the whole world, is the paradise like Dukao village. Qinzu walked beside Qin Feng and whispered, it seems that some old sayings are still true. Qin Feng looked puzzled and asked, what old saying? Hey, the mother-in-law looks at her son-in-law, the more she looks happy. You see, Yao's mother, the first time she saw you, she knew that she told you to pay attention to safety. It seems that she is not generally satisfied with you. Qin Feng said casually, it's just to reassure them. It's not like what you said. What a mother-in-law. This statement is too exaggerated. With a pouted mouth, Qinzu rolled her eyes. You kidding me? In the current situation, it's more real than the truth. Why, you won't let Yao tell her parents in the future that everything happened today is all a lie to them. By doing so, it is estimated that a pair of heart attacks can be made. Besides, look at Yao, how bright her smile is. It shows that she is very happy in her heart. And besides, that is the future sister-in-law and daughter-in-law that my parents and I are optimistic about. This is the case. Qin Feng was stunned and looked towards Yan Xiao. Sure enough, the little girl was smiling very happily, and she was very beautiful and generous. At this time, she was a little more charming and charming. Even if it was a fairy, it is impossible to compare. I have passed Yan Xiao in this state. Although old sister Kinzu is sometimes unreliable, what she said just now seems to have some truth. After thinking about it, Qin Feng didn't say much. After all, it's impossible to tell Yan Xiao's parents at this time that all this is fake. It's just acting. Don't say that Yan Xiao's parents can't stand it. It is estimated that Qin Feng's parents will have to worry about him. After speaking, everyone had already arrived at Qin Feng's house. Since Qin Feng became the suzerain, together with the patriarch of the Qin family, Qin Hongfu has already redecorated and decorated Qin Feng's home. The place is very spacious. Even if people don't tell the dark whistle, it doesn't seem crowded. The parents on both sides talked very happily, and hearty laughter could be heard from time to time. At this time, Yan Xiao finally found a chance to come to Qin Feng and said in a low voice, "You're not angry, are you? I see that you look a little unhappy." After smiling, Qin Feng shook his head. "No, it's a promise to you. So what's the point of being angry?" The two were talking here. Qin Feng's mother Wu Zhu said with a smile, "Look at how good the relationship between the two children is. Just for a while, they have to get together and talk quietly. I don't know how many people in the village have said that the two of them are a perfect match, and they are a natural couple. To tell you the truth, I'm very satisfied with Yao, the future daughter-in-law. In the future, when the two of them get married, I will definitely treat Yao as my own daughter. You two can rest assured." Qin Feng's mother tongue is almost becoming speechless. What is the situation? In the blink of an eye, it seems that he is going to talk about marriage. Willow Catkins and smiling brightly said, "Although this is the first time we have met Qin Feng, we have known each other through various aspects. To be honest, such a good boy cannot be found even with a lantern, let alone me, even if we who can say Qin Feng doesn't say a word in the whole of China. Well, I really let the old sister say it right. Is it really the rhythm of the mother-in-law looking at the son-in-law? The more you look at it, the more happy it is." Just at this truth, Qin Feng's cell phone rang. Looking at it, Qin Feng's expression did not change, but he narrowed his eyes slightly. I didn't expect that, in this truth, Yu Yuan would suddenly call. Could it be that something happened? Chapter 249 directly turned positive. Qin Feng walked to the side quietly. Yan Xiao didn't think much, just thought Qin Feng was busy, and wanted to answer a call. Unexpectedly, Kinzu said at this time, "Why are you going?" At this time, what kind of calls are you answering? And you can answer them as soon as you answer them. Do you need to avoid other people? Aren't they all in the same family? Qin Feng directly asked Kang Shen speechlessly what the old sister said. If he went out to answer the phone now, it would be a little inappropriate. Okay. Biting his head, Qin Feng simply answered the phone beside him. "I'm Qin Feng. What's wrong?" "Ah, long time no see. How have you been?" "Very good. Do you have anything to do with me?" Qin Feng did not address Yi Yuan by name. "It's not a big deal. I heard news that the two worlds will overlap. Will there be great danger at that time? If possible, my family and I can go to your very soon the village." Obviously, Yi Yuan also felt that at this time, it was the safest place where Qin Feng was. Qin Feng's expression did not change, but he felt helpless. Normally, if Yi Yuan came, he would probably be ridiculed by the old sister Kinzu. It was not a big problem, but now that Yan Xiao was here, if Yi Yuan came, the problem would be just big. There is no airtight wall in this world. Once you know the news, it will be embarrassing to meet. There shouldn't be too much danger at that time. If there is nothing to do that day, try not to go out of the house. If there is any problem, you can call me at any time. Oh. It's not very convenient for you there, is it? Although Qin Feng didn't say it clearly, the two had been lovers for many years, so how could Yi Yuan not hear such a thing point at this time? Kinzu spoke again. "Xiaofeng, it's almost done. Your prospective father-in-law and mother-in-law are here. Don't keep calling." Qin Feng knew very well that the old lady was doing this on purpose. With Kinzu's strength, she could definitely hear that Yi Yuan was on the other side of the phone. By saying this on purpose, she was reminding Qin Feng not to have anything to do with Yi Yuan. Yi Yuan was silent for a while before she spoke in a normal tone. "Sorry, I didn't know you had guests." There is nothing else to do. You can go to work first. Goodbye. Okay, let's call again if something happens. What more can Qin Feng say? Just hang up the phone. Yan Xiao's parents didn't think much about it, and they comforted them again. Qin Feng is now responsible for the safety of the entire Huaxia. He is very busy. He answers the phone as soon as he needs it. We don't have any major business. When Yan Wen just spoke, his face was full of smiles, and it seemed that he really didn't care. Liu Zhu followed and said, that's right. Qin Feng will definitely be busy, but pay more attention to your body, and don't let yourself down. Sure. Enough. The future mother-in-law knows that she loves her son-in-law. The two families gathered together, chatted for a while, drank tea, and soon, it was time for dinner, which was naturally a warm reception point after dinner. Qin Hongbo deliberately asked Qin Feng to arrange the residence of Yan Xiao's family. To be honest, Qin Feng felt that these human affairs were much more difficult than improving his strength. Liu Zhu was very satisfied with the place she lived, and said with a smile, I'm in a hurry this time. It's already very good to have a place to live. I didn't expect that the environment here is good, and the place to live is also very good. Qin Feng, you can go as soon as you can, and don't worry about us. Bye. The way, Yao, go and see Qin Feng off. Your dad and I don't need you to accompany me. Just in time, we'll have a break. Although it was not stated clearly, the appearance showed that he was quite satisfied with Qin Feng. This was creating more opportunities for Qin Feng and Yan Xiao to get in touch. After Yan Xiao responded, she walked out with Qin Feng. Well, my mother is more enthusiastic about people, so you don't have to worry about it. The little girl has always been worried that Qin Feng will be a little bit conflicted because of her actions. Qin Feng smiled and shook his head. I don't care, and I think Aunt's character is very good. It's just that I've been thinking about one thing just now. In the future, how will you explain the relationship between the two of us to your parents? Yan Xiao's pretty face was a little helpless. She was indeed a little careful at the time, but she didn't expect it to develop like this later. It would be troublesome to explain it later. After thinking about it, I couldn't think of a good solution. With a sigh of relief, Yan Xiao said, let's talk about this later. Well, this is the ostrich mentality, and it can be delayed for a day. Qin Feng still had a smile on his face, and said slowly, I have a way, so that you can explain it later without any trouble or problems. Yan Xiao's beautiful eyes, revealing doubts, blurted out, really? Then tell me quickly, so I can worry about it because of this. Actually, there's nothing to worry about. It's just a fake show. If you can't do it, really? Fake? The look on Yan Xiao's pretty face instantly became a little stiff. She couldn't help but thump. She felt a little confused in her mind, mainly because she didn't know if Qin Feng was joking or telling the truth. If you take this as a joke, you might miss an opportunity. Because of Qin Feng's words, Yan Xiao, the absolute goddess in the eyes of outsiders, begins to worry about gains and losses. At this time, Qin Feng, who had a particularly warm smile, spoke again slowly. Why don't you want to? I just think this fake is fake, like it doesn't even count as an internship opportunity. If you can, it would be better to just turn it into a regular. Yan Xiao didn't hesitate at this moment. She almost blurted out, of course I would, but a fool would not. After she finished speaking, her pretty face couldn't help but turn a little red again. Does this seem like she is being too reserved? Well, are you really not kidding anymore? Up to now, Yan Xiao, who is alluring the country and the city, is still a little unsure whether what Qin Feng just said is true or not. Fool, why would I joke about such a thing? To be honest, I just didn't hate you when I first started contacting you. Later, the two of us went through a lot together today. I was thinking, anyway, even such a strange thing about the fusion of the two worlds is about to happen, and no one knows what it will be like in the future. Since what is in your heart, let's just express it. I think I really like you, so don't hide it. Qin Feng's voice was still gentle. At this time, Yan Xiao tilted her head slightly, smiled, and said slightly stubbornly, no, I like you. Definitely more than you like me. Always like this. Chapter 250 Nothing. When the two were talking, the sun was setting, and the rays of the sunset were scattered, as if they were covered with a layer of mysterious outer sand. Yan Xiao was originally bright and moving, but at this time, she was even more beautiful to the point of thrilling. Qin Feng smiled. Yan Xiao instinctively thought that in his life, he had never seen a warmer and more beautiful smile than this, and what happened at this moment seemed to be more beautiful than ever. I won't deny what you said for the time being, but it takes a lifetime to prove that two people like each other. Who likes more? I'm ready to try it for the rest of my life. You ready? Are you ready? Yan Xiao's eyes were instantly moist. She had imagined this scene countless times when she dreamed back in the middle of the night. Unexpectedly, it finally happened at this moment. Of course, it was not sadness, but a feeling of extreme joy. Nodding subconsciously, there was a bit of choking in his voice. If you promise a lifetime, then it must be a lifetime, not even a minute or a second. Okay. Qin Feng still smiled. Yan Xiao was enveloped by a huge sense of happiness. At this moment, she didn't think about anything. She just threw herself into Qin Feng's arms, and the two embraced each other. Yan Xiao used almost all her strength. That feeling is like letting go and worrying that Qin Feng will disappear. At this moment, Qin Zhu happened to be coming from there. Seeing the two hugging each other, her eyes widened instinctively, and then she quickly moved aside, as if she was afraid of disturbing the two of them. After laughing, Qin Zhu whispered to herself, "It's good now. I thought this kid was just not enlightened." Finally, our old Qin family lost another single dog. After a while, the expression on Qin Zhu's face was limited and stiff. I'm happy here. I was forcibly fed a handful of rations. These two people are too uncivilized. Isn't this forcibly hurting a first-class protected animal, a precious single dog? Taking a breath, Qin Zhu stomped her feet and left angrily. Qin Feng and Yan Xiao held hands, walked casually into Cow Village, and came to Shilly Peach Blossom Forest again. Yan Xiao really likes the scenery here. When I look at it today, I feel that everything is more beautiful, and I'm happy physically and mentally. Well, sometimes the power of love is so incredible. What makes you feel infinitely beautiful, also more inclusive than usual. Point in the evening, the two reluctantly parted. Yan Xiao still wanted to accompany her parents, and she couldn't come to Dakar Village on the first day. For them, it was a strange place, so they didn't care about anything, right? Qin Feng happened to have something to deal with, mainly because Qin Haoxu and others came back. As a matter of fact, several people were invited by Wu Hua to investigate some things. Now that they have returned, they don't know what the result will be. After a few people arrived in Qin Feng's room, their expressions were a little dignified. Qin Feng said strangely, "What, didn't things go well?" A few people, "Look at me, I look at you." And finally, Qin Haoxu said, "Brother Feng, things are more complicated than we thought. There are two injured people. After treatment, they are sober. However, they have no impression of the situation at the time. Everything happened too fast. Other people who have inquired about this matter have already checked the interpersonal relationship of the two injured people and have not found any enemies and motives for committing the crime. We also tried to find clues, but it happened a little longer. After the inquiry, there is no result." Qin Feng snorted, nodded, and then asked, "What clues are there in those who died?" "We checked the 6 dead people before and after, and from their bodies, we can only judge that they were attacked by a tyrannical force and killed in one move, and there are no other clues." Qin Feng's face was even more solemn than before. "You said that you checked 6 people before and after, that is to say, because of this incident, did a lot of people die?" "We asked those who handled the case, and said that before and after, there were about 37 similar incidents, and only 2 survived. In other words, at least 35 people lost their lives one after another, so this is no small matter." After Qin Feng pondered, he asked again, "According to what you said, when you were attacked by a tyrannical force, how do you judge the specific criteria? I mean that tyrannical force?" Qin Wen, who was very talkative, finally couldn't help it at this time, and said, "We have made a general inference, and estimated that the power of the entire explosion, even if it is weaker than me, is not much weaker. We have a speculation Perhaps it was a beast, or, as you said, Brother Feng, there are alien beasts that can transform into a human form through some special channel and then kill. Qin Feng didn't speak for a while, feeling that this matter was getting more and more complicated. After a while, Qin Feng asked again, is there anything unusual about the identities of the people who were killed? Frowning his brows, Qin Heogsu sighed and said, things are weird because they are weird. Those people have been investigated several times, and there is nothing unusual about their identities. They are workers, white-collar workers, teachers, and students. In normal times, they are just ordinary people. I don't know what the point of doing to them is. Qin Xiaoyu spoke at this time. The inference that Qin Wen said about the attack of alien beasts, we also thought that there is no basis for it. Normally, alien beasts will not kill innocently. After those beasts kill, how can they still leave complete corpses? After thinking about it, we couldn't figure it out. Brother Feng, I'm sorry, we disappointed you, and we didn't find any specific results. Qin Heogsu and several others had embarrassed expressions on their faces. Qin Feng waved his hand, changed his voice and said, it's no wonder you guys, I think you've already done your best, but things are really complicated and weird. Let's not draw any conclusions for the time being, so as to keep our thinking fixed. The matter is definitely still to be investigated, but don't worry about the last 2 days. Since Woohooer asked you to come back, it means that you are not needed for the time being. Just stay in the village and wait until the fusion of the two worlds is over. Come and see for yourself. Understood. We listened to your arrangements. After a few people responded, Qin Feng waved his hands to signal for them to go to rest. When Qin Feng is alone in the room, he closes his eyes and rests. To be honest, he doesn't have any good ideas right now, but he has an instinctive thinking and feeling that these things probably have a lot to do with the invasion of alien beasts. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.